Okay, everyone, we're back. Try this again in New York. I think I went over the time limit a little bit for London session, but not really much happened anyway. I think I went over about 36 minutes. I got to get used to doing that. Start timing it and keeping it consistent. So we should be back here and give everybody a minute. Welcome back. Welcome. Yeah, let's give it a minute here. See if we can get some profit today. London was a bust. If you're watching this in the future, London was a bust today. Not really a whole lot going on.
I think GN is giving a second chance here.
Yeah, I'm watching that one. I'm definitely watching those. I still think they're okay.
Yeah, I scaled in 0.2 and now I'll put a one lot here since it pulled all the way back.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely low. Just gonna watch it here.
Yeah, I'll take a
bumping nicely. So again, just trying to catch the low of the week on that. Looks really good. EA is, I wish honestly should have put a little more on that. If this will hold and give some price action, I may tack onto that later. But anyway, it's doing all right. Gonna be okay today. I have a feeling today's gonna end up okay. It's just, man, it's been like pulling teeth today. EuroCAD is bumping. Looking super good on EuroCAD. Nice move there. Look at that, man. It's crazy. You had that right today. It just pulled up, stopped out, and then took off, and now it's gone. 35 pips. Out of here. Crazy. All right. We're still moving here. Still going. Aussie's looking good. I wish I would have put more on that. Only put a quarter lot on it. I wish I would have done a little more. It's just, again, it's just a really, really good risk reward on that. After breaking multiple lows, low of the week, potential low of the week.
Where's pound Swissy going down to?
That's a great question. Great question. It looks like it's
next support, man.
It's going to the center of the earth here. But yeah, I mean, this honestly, like this looks kind of bearish. I mean, it's in a range. It's not. It's just been in this crazy range for like the third day now. We're on the third day of this range, and on higher time frames, like this doesn't really look that good, to be honest. When something consolidates that long, honestly, like I would be more afraid of it doing something like that, and then taking a big, huge dump. It's just right now, at the moment, it's bearish, but it's still in this consolidation. So it's kind of tough to make a call on that. As far as today, I'm just, on the macro, just overall, we don't really know which way it's going now. It's kind of, it's almost on the low of the range again. It's very close to the low of that range. Again, today, like we're on the bearish side of things. I mean, we're on the way down, but we've got this price action range. So the question is it going to cut through that? Or, are we making a move down to a lower level today? It's within range. Or is this just going to a little false move, poke out and then come back in? It's a tough call because the price action range and the algorithmic range are kind of given two different pieces of information. So, price action wise, we're almost back to the low. So if it cuts low today and breaks out of that consolidation, I mean, it could end up quite a bit lower. Again, let me get rid of Essie, hold on. Taking a look at something on the other side for YouTube. You guys are probably wondering what I'm talking about. We're just looking at another chart here in the group. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good. As far as, price action on higher time frames, I mean, it's in this range. It's if you look at the 4 hour, you can see just how ridiculous this is. Like it's just doji after doji in this little consolidation. It's been there for days. It's been here for days. So it's a tough call on that because you want to think that that's going to drop lower, and looking at the macro, like it definitely could go lower, but it's hard to take a position on it right this second. If I was short, I would probably stay in it, if that makes sense, because right now it's again come off the high of that range, and price action wise, like, we've kind of come off of a high, and we've an extended consolidation off of a high, so that's not normally a good thing. But again, we're back to the low of the range, so it's hard to sell it now. It's not really the best short, but at the same time, if I was short from higher, I would be staying in it. Like if I caught this short from I would just stay in it short, and then put a stop at break even and see if it comes back, because there's room. There's room to the downside today. I don't know what I would do there. It's like no entry. If I were short from higher, I would be in it still. Oh, hold on, we just got to move here. Whatever it says, Euro Aussie. That was a really strong close on Euro Aussie. Freaking pound, man. Yeah, this pound CAD can't make up its mind. I'm gonna stay on that. Just watching it. Euro Aussie made a strong move.
Man, gold got wrecked right now, bro.
Did it?
Nice dump, man.
Finally, okay.
Man, why do I miss these all the time, bro?
Yeah, we talked about this today, man. That was definitely one of those things where it's not a buy. It was absolutely not a buy. This is where your break and retest traders get smashed. Liquidity above the high. It was just used against you. This was not a buy. Period. Smashola. So now we're back to again. We're just looking for the low of a range here. We're back to it. This is the thing we've been talking about. It's just it's hard to know that until it happens. But you're looking for where this range low is going to be. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Where is it going to be? Where is it going to come down to? And then, there's probably going to be a rubber band move back and forth. Whenever it does find the bottom of the range, but it's just too high, man. It's way too high. Where it is on the weekly candle. Too high. It's not a buy. You're buying the high of the week and the high of the day kind of thing. Oil's the same thing. The same type of thing on oil. It's very dangerous to buy it there. But it's hard to know that until the move happens. Man, that was a strong candle there. Wonder what that is. No move in equities. Oil's the same thing. I mean, this is the exact same setup on oil, and it's it's really a function of getting smashed on the high. I mean, it's this, it's the thing we talk about a lot, this thing. But there's a reason that thing happens. It's because of what's up here. Everybody's, you got days worth of stops up here. You got buy side liquidity right here above this range. And then all the smart money who accumulated all the way down here, just gonna sell it. This thing pokes up. That's how that happens a lot of times. If it's high.
See the same thing on bond US as well.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Yep, it kind of is the same thing.
Structure.
It's the same structure, and the difference here is because this is already this has already come up a lot. Like it's already way high in its cycle. Like it's not like it's low. Like if this had been coming down for weeks or something, it'd be a different story here. You'd be thinking maybe this is going to make another move up, but because this is so high, you got to look out for that kind of thing. What's more likely to happen? Is it likely to make a huge move up from here after it's already so high? We're very high in the weekly too. Very, very high. This is extremely high. And then, you know, you've got, you know, this pool up here above the consolidation. Anything in here, you know, inside of this consolidation, you got a whole bunch of contracts, you know, on both sides, longs and shorts, longs and shorts. And then right here is where all that, it's where the pinnacle of all that is, you know, once it pops up into there and this thing starts coming back down, it's probably the big red hammer. And the big red hammer, the same thing's happening on oil that happened on gold. And this is why I would worry about oil here. You know, especially being down back here on the low. If this is going to pull back up a little bit, your risk is going to be to sell it. You know, because we're kind of getting this. It's the same thing, one of the same things we talk about all the time. And then look at that gap. There's a huge gap in liquidity down here. You got a block down here. You're going to be looking for this block down here to get resolved. That's way low. It's way low. You know, the question is this going to just expand the range? Because technically you've also got sell side liquidity on this side also. So you've got sell side down here. You got buy side here. It looks like the buy side's been tapped on that sell off. So as this comes down, it's probably going to bounce a little bit. And the question is it going to reject here? And you're going to be looking to see, you know what I mean? Is this range just going to expand? This could just be a range expansion, and then we'll see which way the trend's actually going to go. But right now, you know, I'd be worried about that same thing on oil. You know, the exact same type of structure that just happened on gold. You know, you got, when you get a consolidation like this, you know, and you poke up into it, there's that. It's a very common move, but this is why, like, that's the reason for it. You know, it's just, you know, this is why you got to understand where you are. You got to understand market cycles and where you are, where you are statistically, if you're going to try like a break and retest kind of thing there, because, you know, you just got to be aware of that. You know, that's the thing. We're exactly what we're looking for on gold. Same exact things happening on oil. It's the same structure. Pound dollar is very similar type of thing. It's a lower high. Yeah, that actually got smashed. Yeah. Yeah, you got a lower high overall on the macro as well on pound dollar. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. You get, you know, above this consolidation here, we've tapped into it, and, you know, now it's selling off. You know, so you just, you know, as long as you're managing the risk, it's fine. But, you know, you've had a big move up here already. Potential lower high in the macro. This is very high. Pound dollar is extremely high because the dollar's been so weak. So that's, you know, there may be something like that coming on pound dollar too. Euro dollar was another one. It's the same kind of thing. You're just distributing on the high. Now it's poked high and now coming back down. The only reason I'm holding that euro dollar trade is because of how high that is right now. I know that it's likely to be down at least a little bit. Even if it makes a higher low, it's still way down here. Like, it's, you know, it didn't go earlier. I was hoping that was just going to take off, but it might not be wrong enough to, you know, to worry about, depending on the lot size. As long as you can manage the position, it's not a big deal. What is this? Euro pound ended up flying, so it did break. That's frustrating. Had that right today. Had it right, just got stopped out on this, you know, just went one more round to the bottom and then slam. So this is actually interesting because it's leaving this consolidation. You know, it had this like range right here, and it's coming off of a low, so we might be moving up to another level up here somewhere. Consolidate up here. This may continue actually, but the entry, that's not the right entry. You don't want to chase it on the high, you know, at this time of the day. All right, wait and see if this is going to pull back in range or something. If it'll give you some kind of consolidation. It looks like it's going to continue higher. The euro is just steady grind today. Just steady moving on the euro. Man, I wish I would have stayed in that euro CAD. That's a bummer. Euro CAD's another one. Had it this morning. It's up 40 pips from where we got in. looking for this to come back. If this will come back and, you know, give another entry here at the bottom of this block, you know, this, take it, you know, whatever ranges. If it'll put in a range here, might take a, you know, take a shot on a move here. It just might not give a chance. It's just going to go probably. It's one of those where if you weren't in it from earlier, there's no reason to chase it now. The other thing, oh, you're Aussie. Yeah, you don't need to watch that. Actually got one in profit here. Got one moving, looking for the top of the range. Again, this is very likely the low of the week. If this is going to pull off that low, this was probably the low of the week. And we still got a couple more days, so, you know, we could get a nice move here on this. Yeah, just put a wick on the bottom of that weekly candle. You know, you're basically, you're trying to capture between the low and the close of the weekly candle, you know, the low and the, you know, wherever the wick's going to go on that weekly candle. So maybe we'll watch that. Just, it's a big blown out range, but it's probably, you know, again, as we come up here, probably to right to the center here, probably a good idea to take some profit. Like if you wanted to just take the profit on that, you know, it's 35 pips to the top of that range there. Gonna fight it today. It's gonna be a fight. That's still holding, but being a turd.
Yeah, you're gonna you look at 4 on EJ. It's kind of should be, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's high. It's high, just waiting for it to put in a high. It's, you know, it's obviously high today. On that, what I would do there, high for sure. Just expanded this range. You know, it was in this consolidation. It's expanded it to the upside. It just looks like it's going back to retest that high, but it's just one of those things where I definitely wouldn't buy it. What I would do there, I mean, if this candle closes bullish, it might be on the open of that next candle. If it gives you any kind of downside, you know, it might be a good idea to just get out if you're short. Tough one because it's bullish right now. You got a high up here. Don't know. I mean, it's obviously high today. I don't know how much more it's going to go today. I'm assuming the yen's weak. Yeah. The euro is just continually strong here, so that's part of the problem. The other problem is the yen has stopped reversing. It stopped coming back up. Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, Up Season? What's going on, dude? Yeah, it's kind of chilling right now. EA's definitely watching that. I wish I would have stayed in it.
Yeah, we're looking good on Aussie dollar, man.
I was in it and took the profit.
Looking nice here.
Yeah, you short? I'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
in a second.
Aussie dollar, I shorted it all the way up, 2 lots, man.
58650.
Let's go.
See what you got. 58.
And I'm long GN here also with 1 lot too.
Yeah, let's see what you're talking about on EA. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, see, no,
Yeah,
it's
mess here.
oh, EA. No, maybe that's not me.
Yeah,
Nice,
just watching.
man, nice.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Yep. Sense. Kind of thing. Makes sense. Yeah, your sell side right here. Yep. It's looking for, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I see. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Yeah, as far as to really just looking for this to get kind of to the, to the initial high here on this, somewhere up here, and then whatever. It's a maybe. This is very low on the weekly, and just looking to capture whatever's on the bottom of the weekly candle. Yeah. As far as potential, it could potentially go that high. I don't expect it to go that high. Just as far as maybe tomorrow, like if we have a big day today and then it pulls back in Asia, and then we might get another move back up. Still just looking for the low of the week. And then, still got a couple days left on the weekly candle. It's possible that runs back up, but I think I'm going to secure the bag once this gets a little higher. Actually, pretty soon. Probably right in here somewhere. Actually, probably like right here. Be looking to secure this bag pretty soon. Actually, not a bad time to do that. I'm excited to see what's going on here as we're approaching right here. Equilibrium for the day. Back to the open. Probably secure that bag. Again, I'm just looking for a bigger move. I'm okay with holding it. It's whatever right now. Pound CAD, still waiting on that. Got a mixed bag. It's right in between my two entries. Just no reason to close it yet. Not amazing, but it's also not dead yet. It's just back. Just came back. It's not really a lot going on today, honestly. London was a bust. God, it was horrible. But yeah. About it. Again, looking for, where's the money? As we get right up here, you would just expect there to be some settlement here. All the shorts getting stopped out right here. Everybody's stops are right here. All the shorts are getting stopped out, and all the breakout buyers are trying to take the run to break out from here to here. So there's going to be some settlement happening right here. It makes sense. It's a good idea to to secure that bag. I'm just looking for the bigger move on it, looking for the low of the week, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow probably. But yeah, it's about time to, actually, I'm just going to hold it. It's one of those things where you just put stop at break even. If it gets stopped out, no big deal. Entry was right. Finally got a good entry on something today. Today's been crap. This market's going back and forth, man. There's nothing. Got a lot of consolidation today. Yesterday was a consolidation day too, that's the crappy part. Is yesterday was just garbage. It was just a choppy day, and today London kind of continued that. Finally getting a little bit of move though. Euro Kiwi's another one that pulled back a little bit. I might tag onto that. Euro Kiwi and Euro Aussie tend to move together. Again, low of the week there. That was nice down there. And as long as we're gonna hold there, good to go. We're just coming back into this consolidation right here. Had a range here, so everybody's gonna get their money back as this approaches up here. So there's probably gonna be some selling here. So if this would pull back a little bit, get that higher low situation, probably jump back in there. Possibility. It's really low on the weekly. We're below your statistical weekly low here. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's all good, man. Yeah, it's been a wild year. It's kind of nothing's really changed, man. Just kind of hanging out. Come on, Euro. euro is still holding. I mean, it's just consistently gaining. I think the problem is all the bases were just kind of chilling today. Like the pound and the euro and the dollar were kind of all doing nothing, and now we finally just got to move on the euro. A little bit of dump on the pound finally. It's just not strong on the pound to the downside. What to do? You got a little bit better stuff going on though. Dollar made a move. Kind of approaching a point where it's probably going to chill out though too. The underside of that previous consolidation on the dollar index. So that could be, you know, a sign of things to come here as this approaches under here. Yeah, it's a range. You know, we're just back at the top of this range. Had a range consolidation here. And a range consolidation here. See how price moves and ranges. You had a high here. And this was your up cycle here. Not really much of a, you know, just had a quick up cycle there, and then we've down range consolidate, range consolidate, range consolidate. We're back on the high of this range. It's not a good idea to buy it. But it's possible that this comes back and makes a higher low, and maybe the dollar's just been taking big L's lately. But it's possible, you know, short term, if this would pull back a little bit and make a higher low. So maybe. We'll see. But yeah, you know, if this would pull back and make a higher low and start this grind back up tomorrow, you might get a short on like euro dollar, pound dollar. Pound dollar is definitely in a crazy spot. Pound dollar is definitely, you know, confirmed a lower high here. Sold off right here. The sell side of that block right there makes sense. So now, yeah, let's say if this pulls back up, depends on what happens in the dollar, you know, overall with the strength of the dollar, but I don't know. I think that's eventually going to be wreckage. Euro dollar, still waiting on that. It's just I'm totally fine with this. The risk is low, and I mean, this is just next level high. Again, there's just no reason to close it right now. Just looking for the high of the day. It looked like it was going to go earlier. That's why I took it, is it was very bearish earlier, and then we got another slam candle. This was dropping. It's lower time frames. It looked good, and I just held it just because there's no reason to get out of it. And I like what I'm seeing here, actually. You know, again, you're just going to track this, see what happens. You got buyers and sellers in the same place. You know, see who wins, see where we net long or net short in the market, and we're on a massive, just ridiculous high on this. So I know where the good risk reward is. You know, the question is, can you stay in it and not get stopped out? It's not really doing much of distributing on the high today. It's very likely going to be in a range. Actually, I may reevaluate this. If it'll come down and give me the break-even stop, I might take the break-even stop and then reevaluate it tomorrow. And then the second I close it, it'll dump. But yeah, it's just probably going to be in a range here. I'm just waiting for it to get back to the low. There's no reason to get out of it right now. Gold, man, gold took a big L. This makes sense. You know, this wasn't a buy. It's just not a buy. Yeah, that would make sense. Yep, I could see that. Yep. Yeah, so, you know, I was looking for some kind of range here, wherever the boundaries are of this range. I could see that. Right now, it's just in the middle. There's no trade here. It was definitely a short earlier, though. I didn't take it, but man, I was actually looking to see if that was going to go a little bit higher. Got this big weekly level here. But yeah, man, it's just right on target there. Wreck the breakout traders. That's what happened. This was a thank you for your liquidity event for the breakout traders. It's bullish buy it crew. Dollars getting wrecked here. Makes sense. Again, this makes sense on the dollars, the top of a range. So what we're just saying, it's not a buy. Waiting for it to come down. See on this. Aussie's still good to go. Just looking at, again, initial high of the day kind of thing. And the weekly low. Again, this dipped below your statistical low of the week. So we're just looking to catch that weekly candle. What's going to be on the weekly low here? This is just stupid low too. Crazy how low this thing is. It's kept going down too. Trying to capture whatever is going to be on the low this week. It's possible that flips bullish, but I wouldn't really bet on it. I think next week is going to be a good week on this. You know, just looking at this. Looking at this low to hold, you know, as long as it stays above this low here, you know, however we close on the week. If next week doesn't break the low, that's where things start getting interesting. Talking about back up to here kind of thing. Yeah, I think a week or two from now, this is probably going to be much higher as long as this low holds here. Going to be looking to buy the low of the week on this. And just look for the higher low. It's possible. Just back in the buy side of this right here. See, this is definitely a possibility coming up. Zero Aussie. There's probably going to be multiple trades on this on the way back up if it'll go. It's got to hold that low though. Right now, I'm just looking to take something out of it. Just take whatever the pullback's going to be. It's probably not. It may not even go much farther than this right here. Trying to get something out of it. Secure the bag. Get something today. Slow. It's been a slow week. Monday was really good. Had some really good trades Monday, and then yesterday was just nothing. Yesterday was a consolidation day, and today is kind of, London was a bust, kind of continued that, but it's okay. You don't quit, you keep fighting. Okay, I want to see this range. See some kind of range here. And not death. All those things, you know, stop to break even. And if it comes all the way back down, then whatever. And you just wait and try it again. You know, part of the problem here with this entry is if it's going to come down, that's probably going to be the place where it's going to bounce. So you got to make a decision on taking the break even stop or, you know, getting back in. Hopefully it's just going to range and continue here. Just looking to get back to this previous, on this previous high. I'll probably just close it. If it'll give me that, I'll probably just, whatever, close it and get back in it tomorrow. If I would have had a bigger position on this, I only got a quarter lot on it. If I had a bigger position on, I would take some of it down and then let this go because this is probably the low of the week. You know, the question is how high is it going to go in the next couple days? Oh, what time is it? We got see what happens with the job numbers today. We got ADP here in a minute. I don't think it really matters to the market, but I'm curious to know. 8:30. Okay, never mind. Curious to know where we're heading as far as unemployment claims. If it's better or worse this week. I don't think the market really cares that much, to be honest, about that. Oil's the same thing. It's the same setup. It's just behind. I mean, you got, you know, liquidity above the range consolidation, smackdown, just as described. You've also got sell side here. So, you know, this could be an expansion of the range. You know, is this, you know, could it be an expansion? I think be looking for a lower high on this. I don't know. Given how high this is, You know, it depends on what happens here. But as of right now, I wouldn't do anything right this second, but it's just expanded the range. I don't know what I would rather be here. Expanded the range. Oh, hold on, dog's gonna bark. I knew that was coming. Hold on, give me 1 second. Ears wrecked. Sorry about that. I knew that was coming. Trying to get to the microphone mute button as quickly as I could. I was about to knock the mic stand over. All right. So yeah. Anyway,
What do you think about pound CHF, BB?
I know it's bearish, like on higher time frames.
Yeah.
Or is where it is right now. It's kind of it's at the low of a range. It's at a range low. You've got a kind of an extended consolidation coming off of a high. It's bearish, but not from where it is. It's bearish overall macro, just not from the low of a range. It's got potential that it could come back up. I think it's hard to make a decision on that because there's kind of this weird range low down here that it keeps bouncing off of. And we're just stuck. If you think about it this way, you got a range here, you got a low here. We're just back at the bottom of it. But this kind of extended like consolidation like that, it's not really a good thing, especially coming off of a high. But at the same time, you don't want to short the bottom of a range. So as far as an entry now, I don't know. It depends on your time frame. If you're trading very low time frames, it could be a buy because you're technically at the low of a range, and you definitely got some rejections on the low. There's kind of this block forming right here. I would watch this. We're in the sell side of it now, but what I would do there, got just back and forth on the pound here. Or YouTube here. Yeah, right now, I don't know. It depends on your time frame. It really depends on how long you plan on being in it, because technically it's probably going to go up a little bit. But I think on the macro, there's something else happening on the macro. I think I'm probably going to take a dive down. You're going to step down a level at some point, but you don't want to sell, for a YouTube is kind of what I'm explaining here. You don't want to sell the bottom of a very well-defined range. It's not a good idea. So, the question, overall in the macro, there may be something else happening here, but it's not a good idea to sell it. I think short term, it's probably going to go up a little bit. I would watch right here. But, yeah. So like this level right here. It's no entry right now. Let's see where we are in the range. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just kind of coming back up. We're at the bottom of a price action range here. So, we've gone sideways. This is the third day sideways on this. So, taking that into account, I don't know what it's. I look at this and immediately just think no trade. Like if I'm not short from the top of the range or from yesterday or something like that, then it's no trade. If I'm scalping on the 1 minute, I'd probably have a long bias, being that we're at the low of a very well-defined range. However, it's not really bullish either. And we're just kind of in the middle of this block here forming. It hasn't happened yet, but it's happening now. This is what's happening here. We're looking for the boundaries of this. You know, we net long or short. You know, you're going to have the meat of the move inside of here somewhere, and this is going to be an important level projected out. But right now, there's kind of no trade. We're in the sell side of it. It's probably going to go back and forth in range here for a little bit. But right now, I mean, it's going back up. I don't know. No trade. No trade. Something, keep an eye on that one because of what it's doing. You know, you got an overall range here, and we're, you know, honestly, like, if you were looking to hold it, like, you know, it's not a terrible risk to try to take it back up. It's not a bad risk reward because you are clearly at a range low, very well defined. You know, if you split this way, you know, kind of gives you a different perspective. You know, gives you a very different perspective. You know, what's happened as we've approached these boundaries. You know, so risk reward, there's different ways to look at this. You know, risk reward wise, you know, depending on how long you're looking to hold it, you know, where your stop was, how you were positioned, you know, how heavy a position do you have? You know, that matters. You know, if you're looking for a swing or something, like, it might not be a bad idea to try to take it long, but at the same time, it's not really the best idea. You know, there's a few different ways to look at it, and this is, you know, your time frame matters here. And something like this, your time frame matters. Interesting chart though. You know, just, you know, price action wise, you know, overall, like, even if you go out, you know, going back, you know, 7 or 8 months, you know, look at what's going on here. You know, like, this has been the trade of the century, trading this range for the since March. You know, it's hard to know that, but looking back in hindsight, good Lord, I mean, look at this. You know, trading this range. You want to talk about, you have life-changing money inside of this range, knowing where the boundaries are, and it stayed in it. It's super clean. This is the super clean. I mean, the cleanest thing, one of the cleanest things I've ever seen, going back that far, going back to March. You know, 9 months in this clean range like this. But, you know, you don't know these things ahead of time. And then, you know, short term, you know, we're kind of right in the middle. We're right in the middle of this range. But man, think about that. You know, think about if you went short every time it went to the top of the range, managed your risk, closed and went long every time it went to the bottom of the range, managed your risk. You know, look at that. It's incredible. You know, it's just, you can't see those things ahead of time. Very interesting chart though, especially on the higher time frames. But yeah, short term, we're right in the middle, and it's whatever. You know, it's a maybe. You know, right now it's a wait and see. You know, higher time frames wise, you know, you're in this you've got buyers and sellers in the same place. Probably best to stay out of it. We're technically on the buy side of this block, you know, if you think about it this way. You know, again, if you condense this down, you know, where are your buyers, where are your sellers? You know, we're just coming off the buy side now, and we're just in the meat of it. We're in the no trade zone. But very interesting chart here. It's definitely one to watch because how well defined this has been. Seems to be behaving pretty well. So something interesting to watch though. Yeah, right now it's kind of messy. No trade. But very interesting chart. Very, very interesting. So yeah. Are we for the day? Basically a bunch of nothing. Down cat stayed in the range.
Euro pound looks like a good short too. Euro pound.
That one had a nice move.
It's just scalping something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. It had a nice move. It kind of moved out of its price action range, and it's just kind of chilling right now. I don't know what I would do there. It's a positive. That's a potential high of the day. It's So maybe I would wait and see what happens in this consolidation. I would wait and see what happens there. It's a maybe. Right now, I mean, it's kind of bullish on higher time frames, and structure wise might be stepping up a level. I would definitely watch above here for a potential one of those kind of things. Kind of come off of a low, up, consolidate, up, extended range accumulation. Now it looks like we're taking another run up, probably liquidity above the previous consolidation to make a lower high overall, something like that, I would guess. Probably just wait and do nothing on it right now. As far as the entry right now, yeah, basically already got this marked out. You know, we're already looking for this level, you know, on the other side. But yeah, I mean, yeah, again, we've kind of had a low, put in a low, definitely put in a low, you know, consolidate, push. Had this extended period here, and now we're pushing above it. I would definitely watch above this kind of thing for some kind of consolidation. Maybe it's tough call on that. As far as a short now, short term, it could be a short term, but I probably would just do nothing, to be honest. Watching this, I would wait and watch this form, because it's kind of like a higher time frame structure thing that it would suggest a potential continuation to the upside. And again, watching how this form, this is an important piece of price action right here. It's going to be important into the future. Had a big move here, and now we're both distributing and accumulating at the same time. You can think about it that way. You know, we're waiting to see what's going to happen here. As far as a range today, let's stay out of that, to be honest. I would wait until it got up here before I would consider trying to take a short personally. It's just personally, just knowing how this range plays out. There's still technically room on the weekly candle. I would be interested in a short up here. You know, 909 something. You know, somewhere up here over the rainbow, way up high. Somewhere over the rainbow. Yeah, but anyway, up higher, 909 so that would put you up here near the high of the week. It would be a safer shot, at least somewhere. You know, maybe this level could be also a high of the day. I think what's probably likely here is that this is going to end up being a low of a range later. That this may do this kind of thing and then come back and retest that. If I had to guess right now, I would say that this is going to end up being, you know, for YouTube, kind of explain this in a different way, that something like this is going to end up happening, and it comes back to retest that and ends up being like a range low, you know, overall like this, something like that, above the previous consolidation. Price steps up and down in blocks. Kind of fill this gap in liquidity out right here. It may not be that high, but yeah, and of course watch a little higher, but you know, just watching it right now. I'm try to figure that out. I'm gonna figure that out. Wouldn't short it yet, personally. Just uncertain. It's a maybe. It's a maybe. It's uncertain right now. Yeah, we'll just keep going through it until we find the right setup, though. Buttcorn. Waiting for this thing to make a high. This is going to be, man, it's going to be the short of the millennia when this finally makes a high. There's going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of rubber band back and forth. when this eventually does what it's going to do. Definitely going to be watching this 19,000 area, this 20 to 24-ish area. There's consolidations everywhere with gaps in between. It's going to come back and likely fill those gaps on the way down. When that happens, I'm waiting to trade this. I'm not in the market right now on Bitcoin. Got out a little early, but I'm totally okay with that. Opportunity loss is a very different thing than equity loss. Equity loss and opportunity loss are two different things. I don't mind it going higher after I get out. You know, that doesn't matter. But man, when this thing does make a high and starts coming down, the volatility between the highs and lows of the range, and when this thing makes a lower high eventually, we now got a higher high, we broke the high. So when this thing does whatever it's going to do and comes back and then makes a lower high, that lower high, boy, that is where the red hammers are going to step in. There's going to be a massive short here. 30% move. And there's going to be a huge short at some point. It just hasn't shown itself yet. I'm waiting for it to develop. Going to be interesting though. For shizzle. So yeah. Watching and waiting. Getting a pullback here. Everything's still good here on Euroasi. 1 hour's still looking good. Pullback central mass. Great. We don't do 5-minute charts. Looking for a range consolidation right here. This is okay. Just looking for wherever the boundaries of this range is going to be. Yeah, Bitcoin's wild right now. Bitcoin is super wild. Good game on it. Good game. I got out at like 20 something. And totally happy with that. Totally fine with it. And now I'm just waiting. Actually haven't withdrawn it yet. Probably about time to do that. I was kind of waiting for the new year. Fiscal year. Yeah. Euroasi's still good. Looking for a range here. For continuation, but as we approach this initial high today, yeah, this was a really wide range today. Just looking to try to get back up around where this initial high was and then secure the bag and whatever. Probably take half of it down and just let the rest go and then see if that was maybe the low of the week. See if it doesn't come back and stop me out, and then cool. That kind of thing. Euro Swiss still, yes. It's looking like we're going to get another push on Euro Swiss or pound, Euro pound. Sorry, wrong chart. Euro dollar hasn't done anything since 3 o'clock in the morning. Euro CAD's holding. Too high to buy it. Euro Aussie still looks good. I don't know. Chilling and watching. Let's see if this pays out. Let me run to the kitchen real quick. I gotta eat something. I'll be right back. I'm starving. Haven't eaten anything yet. Give me 1 second. I'll be back in just a minute. Still here, just watching, waiting on breakfast. What else is going on here? Well, I got a second. Time is it? 8:40. Oh yeah, I probably got the jobs numbers. Oh wait, no. Yikes. Wow. Huge miss on the job numbers. Huge miss. No change in the market. Absolutely nothing moved. 123,000. Worse than expected. So it's 123,000 jobs lost this week. I'm assuming, well, I guess less than the, yeah, so they were expecting a gain. So the estimate was off by 180,000, basically. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, big miss on the estimate. Is there a logic? Which time frame? The way that I trade, the time frame doesn't matter. It's a fair question, though. Fair question. The time frame doesn't matter as much as the price level. To what I'm doing, I have a very different type of strategy. Very different than what most people are doing. I took a level that if this was going to hold, this was going to be probably the lowest it's going to be for the rest of the day. And if not, then, you know, I don't want to be in it. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those where it's either going to go or not. Yeah, it's just different. It's a price level. Oh, hold on, the dog's going to bark here. Heard something outside. Okay. I was trying to, got the garbage people here. On Zoom. Yeah. Yeah, they're coming to take the garbage. Oh, dog's barking. So yeah, anyway. There's absolutely logic behind the entry, especially. Yeah, it's just, there's multiple reasons why I took this trade, but it's just likely to go up quite a bit from here. But the entry specifically, there's a very good reason why I took this. And it's just, it has to do with price level. It's not really the time frame. It has nothing to do with candles. I literally nothing. You can just put on a line chart, or, you know, always make the joke, you can turn it off. I'm going to take the same entry whether the candles are on or off. Just like it ghost charts. But I do like to look at price action though. There is some good information in the candles. You know, they tell a story, and you can see you can see price action. But as far as my entries and exits, for the majority of the trades that I take, not all, but for the majority, that actually have nothing to do with candles. Like zero. You could put it on a 6-minute chart. But I guess Trading View won't let me look at a 6-minute chart, but we can trade the 247-minute chart, and I'm going to take this exact same entry and the exact same exit because it's a price level and not a candle that I'm looking at, if that makes sense. I'm looking at numbers and not candles. But yeah, fair question though. Fair question. Yeah, as far as stop loss, it kind of depends on what's going on, but originally I was willing to let it breathe. Technically, a stop realistically should have probably been somewhere under this consolidation, but it's one of those things where it's either gonna it was either gonna go or not. When this candle closed bullish and this pulled back to it, there's a very specific number here, a level it's kind of like an algorithmic strategy. And as this pulled back, it was basically fading the red. It was fading the pullback because I already knew that I was going to go long from this specific level. And it's one of those things where if it's not going to bounce and go back up from that level, then I don't want to be in it. So normally I'll let it breathe a little bit, but yeah, depends on the trade. That euro pound's going up again. Oh, gotta go back in the kitchen. Hold on a second. Forgot about my food. Give me 1 second. I'll be back in just a minute. Trying to eat some breakfast and we'll continue with this day. I'm here. Just gotta run to the kitchen real quick. Long journey to the kitchen. Be right back. Euro dollar is finally coming down. Raise Jeebus. Might actually take the break even on that. Pound dollar got ate the cheese. Oh my god, sorry guys. About to knock my microphone over. Wrecking everybody's ears. I'm gonna hold that. Might hold it. It's so crazy high. Like I'm just basically letting this float right now. Trying to figure out if I'm gonna add to it or not. Got a quarter lot on it. I could add quite a bit to this. If it's gonna go the right direction after breaking all these highs, I'm looking for a bigger move here. Just don't know how long it's gonna take, you know, if this, you know, a lot could happen here, depending on what the dollar does. I'm just taking a position on this short and wait and see what happens kind of thing. I know I'd rather be short than long, especially given what the dollar index is doing. Hard off the low here. Interesting here actually on the dollar. Big move on the dollar up, back up. You know, just kind of back in this previous consolidation. It's, you know, nothing really to throw a party about yet, but made a move. I don't know, figure it out. I'm just still in this euro dollar. I haven't been in it since 4 o'clock in the morning. Tried to take this short. One of the first trades I took, it was rejecting and then came up, and I was like, well, I'll wait and see what happens. See how high the high is going to be today. And it just kind of stopped and was chilling. So I just stayed in it. Now that it's coming back, could potentially just de-risk it. Just de-risk the whole thing and take the exposure off the board. It's possible. I don't know, I'm going to watch it. It's not that big of a deal. I'll wait and watch what happens. Pretty good possibility that this goes lower. The problem is where I took the entry is also a point that's likely going to be a range low. So I got a decision to make here. Anyway, on CAD, I'm about to, if this breaks the low, I'm going to close it. Still in this. Get off here. There's no reason to look at it anymore. It's just the same thing. I could add to it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait and see what happens. It is a lower high. I just don't know if it's going to break today's low. It didn't do anything today. It poked out and then came back through, but it's a little late to be making a big run to the downside. So I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what happens on that. And it's kind of offset by some other stuff anyway. So it's, you know, Euro Aussie, if that goes into, as this stays in profit, it offsets that equity. So it doesn't really mean anything yet. Still got a possibility of everything going into profit. Kind of a slow day. Got stopped out a couple times this morning, which is okay. It's crazy because every single thing that got stopped out ended up going the right direction. Euro pound, Euro CAD, Euro pound and Euro CAD got stopped out, and then pound CAD. They all went, all of them. They were all in profit at one point. So it's frustrating. Had it right 3 times and got stopped out. You know, just how it is sometimes. Euro Kiwi is actually looking good here. Pound Kiwi and pound Aussie are still holding. I think the euro is where it's at. So yeah, let's watch this. We might be making a move up to the next level here. Again, gonna look to probably take profit right up here. You know, this initial high of the day right here. Yeah, euro pound making another move. Yep, I was just looking at that. It ended up going again. It's the euro. You know, we got euro strength. That's another thing. I was in that long too. If I would have kept that, would have stayed on that, you know, would have been good. Yeah, freaking euro pound, man. Was in it long at 9046. Down here, was in it long right here, and had us stop too tight. 9046 was the entry. Now it's up, 30 pips from the entry. Is I had it right. It only went that far. It went 4 pips down and then took off. It's crazy. Just had it right. Ended up going, but yes, it's trading sometimes. You gotta be able to survive the volatility. A lot of times you'll have it right, and then you gotta survive the volatility. Anyway, back to my Johnsonville fat-free turkey dogs. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Man, look at that euro pound. Holy cow. Had that right. It's got stopped out. Stopped out. Had too tight of a stop on it. Took a really tight stop. It wasn't a big loss, but man, had it right. Man, that's a pain in the butt. Took the pullback on that, and then the next candle dipped down and stopped me out, and then took off. That's crazy. Had that right from right here. Man, it's another one of those things. You know, tight stops will get you. The lesson here is the whole reason we took it in the first place. Whoops, hold on. Wrecked on Zoom. Hold on. Zoom just reset. Gonna get everybody back in here. Liquidation on Zoom. Hold on a second. Everything got wrecked. Hold on. Man, my voice is wrecked. Can barely speak. Hold on a second.
I ain't mean to boot you offline. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jump kicked us off. Jump called the CEO of Zoom and
people
said,
used to
dump
play
it.
COD. People used to boot. We used to play COD like on PS3. People used to boot me offline when I used to play COD back in the days on PS3. I used to get booted.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, give people a second.
My IP with CanAble. About to spook your IP. My CanAble. You know CanAble, right? You scan IP.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what CanAble is. Yeah, I've been using it since it came out for 15 years, probably 20 years. That's old. Yeah, it's been around a while. But yeah, I've definitely used CanAble. Yeah, back in the day, I know exactly what it is. It's funny that you know what that is.
Scan IPs too. I'm gonna scan your IP. And you talking?
Let's go, man. Got the boom boom on euro dollar. Let's go. Come on. Whoops. Finally paid off. All right, so this is the question. Do you close it? Wish I would have put more on that. Only have a quarter on it. Got the quad on it. What to do? So we're at an inflection point here. I'd like to see the low of the range. Man, it's one of those where if you hold it, like it could be so big that like there are no words for how big this short could be. If that's it, if that's the high. Massive. Just looking to get to the low of the range here, but man. Tempting to let that run.
Sup?
Yo, what's up, man? What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, brother.
Good, man. Good. It's good to hear. That's good. That's good, man. Yeah, it's good to hear you around, man. What's up? Yeah,
Yo,
just chilling.
Not much. I've been away for a little bit.
Yeah.
From home.
Yeah, I figured that, man. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, man.
Back in this bitch though.
Good, man. It's good to hear you.
Look at Bitcoin.
I know, dude. What the heck?
Yes.
Crazy.
I've been longing it all, bro. Like since 17K, I've been 100x longing it. Like,
dude, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a wild
amazing.
Move. Wild on that, man. Yeah.
I love it. It's about time for it to chill out soon, though. Like,
yeah, I think so. I'm watching it. I'm watching for the high. I'm actually going to start trading again. I'm waiting for it to hit the high. We've been tracking it the whole time. Just waiting, man. Like waiting for it to put in some kind of high. But yeah, man. It's pretty wild right now. It's really high. Yeah, it's kind of chilling.
so you're probably doing pretty well on that.
Yeah, I got out of it. Yeah, I closed out a little early, but yeah, it's all right. I did really well on it. Yeah, I closed out it. Yeah, I didn't even care how high it was going. Once it went over 20,000, I was like, yep. I scaled out a couple different times, and just every time it would break the high, it would scale some out, and then it went nuclear all at once. Yeah, I think my highest sell was like 20 something thousand. It was like 20,
in that
20,
range there, it
24,
looked like
yeah.
a top when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, when it was running like here, I was like, all right, you know, that's whatever, I'm out. And then I'm totally fine with it. Now I'm just watching it. I'm waiting. Just waiting for it to put in a high. I'm going to start trading it. Waiting for the
trading
volatility.
on this,
dude, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Now.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's doing right now, brother. Like I had a trade on it today. I shorted it from Asia, and then I ended up buying it after what's it called? So in London, and like it's like in 5 hours it went $1,000 down and then $1,000 up.
Yeah, it's
like,
doing like 10% a day. Like it's doing 10% whipsaws. You know, that's the thing, is the trading is going to be out of control with this because of how crazy this is. When it starts this rubber band back and forth, whenever we do find a high, the trading is going to be just epic on this. It already is.
Oh,
you know,
it is right now.
Yeah.
Man, I've been traded. Like there's a couple of guys that I used to work with that we're in a group chat now, and I got them on Binance, and bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be wild coming up. I'm like actually ready to start trading it again.
He's just been long, literally. What's it called? I've made some good money on it too, but it's literally you were able to 100x long it every single day for that almost half the month of December, and
yep, basically. That's the thing, is the thing keeps going up. It just keeps going up. I'm waiting, waiting for people to stop buying it, put in a high, and then I'll start trading it again. I'm just waiting on it. I haven't taken a position on it in a while, but yeah, just watching. I actually had a short that I was hedging that spot risk, and it just kept going up. So I closed the short and took a loss on the short, but then I closed out spot and actually made a really good. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I've been holding for some of the people on YouTube. They may not know. I've been holding Bitcoin since 2017 when Bitcoin broke $1,000 the first time, back in like late 2016, 2017. That's when I started buying, and I had a couple coins that were sitting in a wallet that haven't moved since 2017, and I finally sold it. So I went to 20,000 first, and then I didn't sell it, and I was mad. And I had to wait. I actually sold a lot of it at 12, and then I waited, and then it finally went up to. So technically, it took a couple years, but on a good percentage of what I initially invested back years ago, I took it from I bought in between it was like right in between 1,000 and 2,200. I think I bought some more at 2,200, so it was right in there, that 1,500, we'll say, average. And then I rode that up to like 20,000. So finally got out at 20,000. On the second time, I was like, nope, I'm not. I don't care what happens. I just went out, and then now I'm just going to reassess the situation. It's crazy that it kept going up, and it went up another 20% or something crazy like that. But yeah, crazy, 30% more than that.
Amazing,
but
man.
Yeah, man, it's wild right now, man. It's I got $35,000 Bitcoin. That's insane. So,
have you been looking at crypto at all?
We've been watching it.
Right now too.
Oh yeah, we've been watching it. I know a bunch of people are trading it right now. Yeah, we've been watching it and see what happened to Ripple too. Did you see what happened to Ripple with the SEC?
Yeah, it got crushed, dude.
I wonder whatever happened to that actually.
That's Ripple holders are gonna be the butt of jokes for like the next 10 years. I swear. Literally, this whole huge crypto run, and the one coin you choose. XRP.
Crazy jump, man. It's actually kind of holding now. I mean,
but
I guess
you're gambling,
found the floor. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. There's no way I would touch that now. Not with that.
People are definitely starting to load up on it, but
like an 81% drop. 81% drop off the high. It lost 81% of its value.
You want to buy. That's when you want. In normal circumstances, that's when you want to buy. But
not
with the SEC over their
it's fundamentally messed up here. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it.
EJ's gone. EJ.
What happened, EJ? Finally, there you go. Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, I think EJ was short. Yeah, jumped short there. Come on, Euro. God, I held through that mess, waiting. Still, this thing is just stupid high. That's the only reason I held it. I was like, well, eventually that's coming down, and it ended up dumping pretty hard. So, still doing all right here. Getting back in it for the day. Getting back in it. Day is not over. It's just a really crap start for the day. Just not a lot happened until now, basically. At 9:15. The market's open in 15 minutes. We'll watch it. Finish eating real quick, and then we'll watch the open here.
This is going to be an interesting day.
The pounds.
I think we might get that big drop today. Like
yeah, there's a lot been going on. Yeah, crazy stuff. Whatever that Iran stuff was the other day, this S&P dumped like ridiculous. I don't know.
It might do the second wave of this, like have the second leg coming down soon.
I'm waiting for that. Yep, that's what I'm waiting for.
Continuation pattern. Yeah. Could be a continuation, or it could be a reversal if it puts in a higher low. But we'll see.
I don't know what's up with this Euro Aussie. It's a maybe. Just trying to buy the low of the week. It's low. I'd rather buy it low and then see what happens. It's a maybe on that.
Yeah, Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie looked pretty nice. Like I was actually checking that out the other day. I shorted it, but I closed it too early.
Yeah, just buying the low and seeing what happens. It's kind of ranging right now, but yeah, it's euro dollar. Might hold on to that and see what happens. Hopefully that'll make a lower high. I'm waiting for the lower high on euro dollar. And at euro pound with nuclear too, because of the pound dump.
Gold is
UJ can keep going down. UJ, I mean that's EJ probably.
Yeah, gold took a big L. We were just talking about that earlier. Gold took a massive dump off the high. I was saying it wasn't a buy up here. Saying leave it alone. But yeah, big, huge dump.
I tried to short it a little bit early.
Yeah.
And I got stopped out and then it ran up.
Yeah. Yeah, gold was huge. Today it was a big dump today. But yeah, it's just kind of chilling right now. It was kind of a slow day. Got stopped out a couple times, and every single thing was right. Just got stopped out on it. Just took euro pound, euro cad, and pound cad, all three of them, and just took the tight stop instead of letting it go. If I would have just let it go, it'd have been a monster. But still got positions in profit, so we're good. Still good on the day. It's not over. Got euro dollar bumping, euro dollar's running, euro Aussie's running. The maybe on euro. It's a consolidation on euro Aussie. We'll see if it holds. It's a maybe. It's just a big wide range. I'm just honestly, I think this is probably gonna consolidate down here, and then I think tomorrow might be the day on this. I'm just trying to catch the low of the week. Trying to catch the low of the week and catch whatever the wick's going to be on the weekly candle, if there's going to be. See what happens. I mean, it's a maybe. I mean, this was really the place to take some profit, but I'm just going to stay in it because it, whatever. If it comes back to break even, I might close it. Just using it as open exposure right now, just positive equity and open exposure, just to see what else is going on, and then make a decision. Same thing with euro dollar. I'm just going to leave it open for now, since it's in profit, and look for something else. We got markets open in a minute. We'll see what happens. See if we get some volume. Gold may retrace back to the upside. Could be a range low. Yeah, it's kind of chilling right now.
A wide range on the indices, actually. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really messy there because of that dump the other day. We'll watch this and see what happens.
And the dollar today hit the targets that we were talking about in October,
finally,
August.
Yeah, those weekly levels, it finally got down there. Finally hit those weekly levels.
And it went on a bullet train to hell to get there. That was like,
yeah, it was brutal, man. As I say, we were watching that every single day. It just kept going down, and kept going down. I just started
shorting it. Like I just started buying S&P, buying Bitcoin mostly though. Bitcoin's crypto's been what I've been trading lately because it's just so the money. It's with the amount of risk you can take using leverage with crypto. If you can get the right entries with your tool, man.
Yeah, it's if you can, fair. if you can not get stopped out, you can do pretty well in crypto. Yeah,
It's amazing,
especially
and
Bitcoin. That 100x
you know that
because of the
casino
volatility.
thing? Oh yeah, and you with your tool and just being able to understand the ADR specifically has been huge. Up here at these tops, there's really nothing else to go off of because there's no previous price action at these levels. So you really have to start, like
exactly.
You'd be almost lost without that. And you can draw some patterns, I guess, but having that ADR has helped a lot with where you would, after it's been pumping like crazy, where would you even think to short? Well, that's where you would think to short, especially if it goes 5 standard. Like when it hit this last stop, I got a short in because it went 5 standard deviations up, and I was like,
oh, yeah.
And it started topping there. And if I didn't have that, I would have said maybe it's going to keep going. But I'm like, no, when it goes 5 standard deviations in one day.
It's time to start watching out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming down.
Yeah, man.
It's sick.
I'm watching it. I'm waiting for the thing to make a high. So I'm waiting for a confirmation of a high on Bitcoin so I can actually start getting in the volatility. I want to get involved in that. Just I'm going to give it a minute.
It's fun.
I'm gonna wait and see where the high is. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We're almost done. We'll watch the market open here in 8 minutes. Let me finish my turkey dogs. I'll be right back. Then we'll watch the open.
I'm in Euro Pound, EJ. It's gonna be long term though. It should be long term. Josh, man, Josh back.
So that way, next time I have to worry about that this order stuff. He knows what it is. He gets the orders anyway. Don't be like tedious thing. Like this one thing gotta go here, that gotta go here right now. Like so we making it.
Where you been at, Josh?
I'm gonna be going for 3
I
weeks.
just went down to my dad's house.
I'm gonna do 24 pieces of milk. Handle it. Mom, you do 24 pieces of milk. Handle it. So we
I still live with my mom, but
you know I can
You got me?
Huh?
Oh, what? Yeah, fun.
store that just be like just one piece minimum. I can make a store that you have to shop in this store. So if you want to do.
Sorry, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Josh?
what's good, man?
How's it going, man?
What is up, Josh?
Nothing, brother. Chilling, trading this crypto craziness.
Oh, crypto trading. Damn.
Yeah, bro. It's
Nice.
yeah, it's fun. Bitcoin's been moving, bro. Like
I'm gonna take it.
one Bitcoin,
Yeah, man.
one Bitcoin
Bitcoin,
longs have been doing some crazy shit lately.
Bitcoin is crazy. Broke the high yesterday too. Fucking
I know. I love it. Yeah.
It's
Man,
insane.
it's so much fun trading right now. Like it
That's
moves
true.
so fast. There was times like I remember like a couple months back it was you were hoping for like a $200 move in the day. It was so slow, and now it's moving $5,000, man.
a day, yeah.
You can trade on the minute chart, and it's like you get the same moves you would get in 2 days on the daily.
That's
in
true.
literally 5 minutes now.
Yes, a lot of volatility, man.
I love it.
Get some Dogecoin, Josh.
Oh, Dogecoin was crazy.
My man Elon Musk, man, he pumped the hell out of it. So
I know. I saw that. Doge is flying. XLM is flying right now.
the only thing that I got wrecked and the only thing that I was investing in, it was XRP.
Are you kidding me, bro?
I bought it's like $80 at 30 cents.
Oh no.
32. Then it went, and when it came back a bit, I just took like $20 loss. That's it, because they suspended it. So you wanna hold that?
What do you mean? Oh yeah. There's
Got suspended. They suspended it from trading, you know. So
Dude, yeah, anything other than XRP, literally anything is flying right now.
yeah, man, Ethereum, bro, $1,000,
Yeah,
1,100 now.
Beta, Cardano,
Damn,
ICX, SXP, it's all up. It's crazy.
crazy, yeah.
It's where the action is right now.
That's for sure, man.
Are you in any trades today?
I took Aussie dollar. I'm 46 pips up. And I tried GN once. I got kicked out of it. I'm trying to re-enter on GN here long. Maybe taking US oil short when it comes back a bit more up. Maybe 520, maybe 50-20.
Yeah, actually, pound New Zealand doesn't look too bad, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Looks like it might start trying to reverse soon.
GA as well.
If you want to long it, I might.
Yeah, I mean, I put my stop loss below the wick. That's all.
I hate trading it against the trend on Aussie and Kiwi though, because it always ends up trends really hard.
It's a small position. Yeah, won't hurt as much. No small position. A tight stop loss, I was gonna say.
What happens in the S&P here? Got market open here. Ring the bell in 3 minutes.
Hey man, let's see.
Just gonna watch and see.
Honestly.
Get your popcorn ready, boys. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. And you're
I feel like it's gonna dump, man. It's gonna dump. I can feel it.
It's gonna dump. It's
Man,
like I'm with you.
Wish I would have shorted that stupid pound dollar, man. I knew it. I knew that was gonna happen. I didn't take it. I was gonna take it earlier. Man.
Nope.
I took euro dollar.
I've had these levels drawn on my chart for months, man. At 89.214, and that's like literally it just finally came down and tapped into it. I can't. Like,
yeah, I've been watching it. It's finally in that weekly level down here. I took it off the chart because it was in the way, but yeah, you're watching this. Finally, this right here, the lower side of this block down. It's finally tapped. Come down into it. It just as just the other day, it's down in here. I was just sitting here watching, these levels. And if it's going to make a higher low, it's probably going to bounce somewhere in here. And if it's going to make a lower low, it's coming down lower. So, kind of waiting to see. The world holds their breath. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's gonna make a higher low and come up and roll over. Like
that would be what I would hope. Weeks. Yeah, I would hope we get a couple weeks of upside and then a lower. I'm fine with the lower high. Just it'd be nice to get some kind of relief rally on it. But yeah, good move today on the dollar. Actually, need to watch this. Some short euro dollar. Actually, I may just.
It's hard now to short it because it's up now.
I may take the profit on it. I was going to say I might take the profit on it. I sat through it this morning. The problem is it's so high that this could be an epic entry if it doesn't come back. But sometimes just taking the profit is a good thing too. Man.
Yeah, if it's that good of a trend, like I found you can always get back in. Like if it's going to actually be a high, but.
That's the thing is that the high? That's the thing. I may just take the profit here since we didn't break the low on that. I'm just going to close this out. It's like some crazy pips, 30 pips or something. That's actually good for euro dollar. It's probably going to go lower, but while this is there, I'm just going to take the profit on it. $62. Only put a quarter lot on it.
Hanging on the daily open the way it just did. It's
I'll wait on it. I'll wait and see if it comes up and makes a lower high. I'll get in it tomorrow. And if it goes down to the low, I'm not going to be mad about a few pips. Not worried about it. I'm just secure the bag on it.
especially because it was in a drawdown too. It's always better to just
yeah,
take the
it
win
was
on
just
those sometimes.
yeah. I tried to take this earlier. It was like when all you could see was this before it pumped back up. It was rejecting on the high. It looked squared up bearish. I was like, man, it's probably just going to dump down. I was just looking for that little run, and then the next candle was a pump. I was like, crap. All right, well, this thing's so high, I'll just wait. You know, and I didn't have too much on it. I was just waited, and it just held and held and held for like 6 hours. You know, and then just finally took the dump. So I'm okay with it, taking a profit down there. Anyway, we'll watch that because there's probably going to be some.
Everybody up.
Yeah, there's probably going to be some more really good trades coming on that. It's so high that there's probably more coming on that. I'll just take the profit, secure the bag. Could have left a runner, but it's not worth it. I'll just wait. And when it does come back up, you know, if it makes a bearish low and it starts to come back up, I'll take another shot on a lower high, maybe tomorrow. Depends on what the dollar is going to do. Where the dollar is here, I just don't want to push it, you know. That was a huge move back up all the way through a blown out range. I'll be okay with that. I'm all right with it. Just
pullback is likely on that, you know.
Yeah, to secure the bag on it, whatever. It's the right decision. Even if it even if euro dollar continues lower, it's the right thing to do. I should have taken pound dollar too. That one ran for pips. Thing did 90 pips or something from where I was talking about taking it earlier. Man. Yeah. Good game. This is another one that's just crazy high. It's really high. It's probably going to end up coming down and breaking that low, coming off a lower low. But when it comes back up again, we'll look for the lower high. There's going to be some good trading on this coming up. Really good trading. Whenever that dollar does reverse, just waiting, man. Just been waiting for, it's been 84 years waiting on this dollar to go back up, man. Just waiting for the bottom. Like, yeah, finally got to push off the low, but you know, it's probably still likely to be in some kind of a range here. Just waiting to see where it's going to be, you know. I'm okay with that today. That was a good run today. I'll take it. Take the pips. 1 second.
I'm just worried that the dollar isn't gonna, like, it's gonna bounce, but I don't know, man. Yeah. I think it's just gonna die.
Yeah.
The stimulus is like, there's a lot of, they just keep printing them, man. They just keep printing the money.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the equities market. Speaking of printing money, like apparently, like I don't know, apparently Trump canceled the CARES Act and all the buying, all the asset buying that the Fed was doing. It canceled the CARES Act and demanded the $429 billion back from the Federal Reserve. Canceled the buying program. So that's another issue. So that's canceled. There's not as much Fed buying. We got a different administration coming in. And there's just so much going on here. So many changes coming over the next couple of weeks. So who knows what's going on. I think this had to do with that Iran scare. That's why oil pumped like it did. And then, the market sold off. All that crazy stuff with Iran. They captured a South Korean tanker or something like that. Something crazy happened. And they're talking about war and all this crap. So that's probably what that was. The timing was right for that. That big, huge dump.
Yeah. I caught it on Bitcoin, but I had a short on oil, and I had too tight of a stop. And the thing is, it was actually just past the high. So if I would have just left it, I would have got out. But it looked like it was just going to continue the trend. So I closed it, and then I looked back 5 minutes later, and it fucking ripped down like almost 100 pips. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, euro dollar is going to go break the low. Sorry, I don't think that's going to go too much farther, but yeah, it's all right. Take the pips, take the profit on that. Yeah, if it hits the bottom of the range, I'm cool with that. That's whatever. I'm securing the bag on it. Yeah, good trade though. It ended up working out. Got more profit than the drawdown, so it ended up working out.
This is actually a pretty bearish day on Euro USD. This is going to end up being a wick. So either tomorrow we're going to come up and fill it. Yeah, it's not looking good. It could just be like the range high up there, distributing on the high. It's possible, that over time this ends up being something like this. We're just looking for the high, wherever it's going to be. And, eventually, you get this kind of crap up here.
distribution. Like, it might not happen all at once. You know, it could be a while before this thing actually rolls back down. Yeah, it's just, I don't think it's going to be quick, but we're just waiting to see where the high is going to be.
Yeah, it is.
It's just grinding higher and grinding higher. Is it going to break this high is the question. You know, is it going to be a lower high or higher high? We're approaching it now, you know. It's crazy. And given where the dollar is, you know, is it going to bounce or not? It's unknowable at this point.
If this day closes green, this actually day close will tell a lot. If it can somehow, which is easily possible, like this dollar could dump all the way back through the bottom of the range today, no problem. But I don't. Yeah,
that's the thing is, you know, if this did close green, you know, you'd be worried about that continuing, you know.
Oh, that's a breakout. Then it looks like a breakout.
Could be continuing, yeah. So just kind of waiting to watch, you know, watching to see what's going to happen there. Just trying to catch it, trying to catch something on it. Probably about time to be out of euro dollar. It's probably going to hit the low of the range, but
and then come back up maybe to the daily open and close. If it closes a doji like this, then tomorrow you'd be looking to possibly short. You'd be looking to see what happens on the bounce and maybe to short a lower high.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'll let it float back up and try to catch a lower high on it, and if it breaks the high, I'll get out, you know. Could just wait and see if it makes a higher high, but probably miss it, you know, whenever it does turn over. And again, just looking for a couple weeks of upside on the dollar whenever it's going to be, but I would expect it probably to be in a range anyway for a little bit. Yeah, this, you know, is probably going to be in a range. You know, do this kind of thing, and eventually make a higher low. Eventually, you know, and maybe get a few weeks of upside, that kind of thing.
It's a lot of liquidity. The area we're in right now is like, it's just where you want to be.
This is where the buyers are. Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably about to get juicy on that. This hasn't happened yet. It's working on it. Here we'll see. So maybe
I haven't been trading as much Forex lately, just because I feel like the tool and everything we've learned with it, and then mixed with the you know, this casino shit.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
This thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mixed with that. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it's like you can hear the order flow. So when it gets to a specific level, and say there's been a lot of selling, you know, people are 100x shorting it. Mm-hmm. They're piling on. Then it'll look super bearish, but it'll be right on a really important level, like the open or like the middle. Yep. And then you'll hear huge orders start coming, and you'll see it's all green. Yep. And then their sellers can't push it down anymore, and then, you know, you're like, oh, this is it. It's gonna hold, and you just get in.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's freaking awesome. Like in Forex, you don't actually know where you can guess where there's likely to be orders, but here you can
see the books in crypto. Yeah, that's the thing, is you can see the open interest. You can see the order books in crypto, so it kind of changes strategy sometimes.
Oh,
you know, because you know where the money is. You don't have to guess. You already know, you know, because you can see the data. You can see the exchange provides that information. That's another thing that's interesting about crypto, is exactly that, is you can literally see the books. So different, you know, it's about the only asset class you can do that, you know, where you can actually see the volume, you know.
Exactly.
You know,
well, you can in stocks with like level 2s and everything, but
like level 2 data, but it's crypto is like, it's there, like it's right there, you know, publicly.
Exactly.
So interesting. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's really cool, dude. Like, I'll have to post this just with the settings that I use. It's kind of cancer, like listening to the
I know what you mean.
Sounds, but once you get used to like what it sounds like when certain things are happening.
Oh yeah, sure. I totally get it.
It's sick.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of watching right now, waiting. See what? Oh yeah, or open. I guess we're into the open. Let's see what happened on the S&P. Got really bad jobs numbers today. It was terrible. It was 168,000 off of the estimate negative. So it was really bad. I got crude oil inventories at 10:30. So that's an interesting data point given how high oil is right now. You know, we're on the high of the year lull, but the high of the month and all that, you know, we're at multi highs here. But yeah, interesting. You know, we get crude oil inventories on the high, and it's expected to be bullish. It's expected to be a production cut. So you're going to get good data at the top. So careful. It's a prime target to get faded, a retail fade. It's the perfect setup for a retail fade to get good data on a high. You know, so everybody's going to try to buy it, and it would be a perfect time, smart money, to take profit. You know, you're on a mega high here after a distribution. So just be careful on oil today. Once those inventories come out, if anybody's trading it, because of where we are. We're also high of the week. You know, we're at our projected high of the week almost exactly. You know, this is your weekly projection. And then you got your daily projection in here. And you also got your weekly projection. We're at the top of the week. So we're just about at our projected high of the week. So just be careful with that today with inventories. You know, if this starts to pump up, I'd be looking to short the high of the day today, to be honest. After multiple breaks of these highs, you know, just trying to catch the high of the day and see if tomorrow's a down day. You know, it's holding right now. We got inventories projected to be positive. So there could be a move back up and then a big fade on the way down. You got a massive gap in liquidity down below this consolidation. So this could be an interesting thing happening today, is whatever's going on with oil. So that's a thing. Gold's still on the low. Get rid of this. Yeah, so we got a potential range low on gold. Yes, we'll see how this works itself out, if this is going to come off the low or not. But right now, it doesn't look very good, I'll tell you that. I would wait to see if there's going to be some kind of move back up and maybe a lower high tomorrow or something. Just doesn't look good. Just, it's way high. Multiple levels of rise. And now potentially probing a low, a range low here. It's a maybe. We got a second test of the low right now. So if this holds, we might have a piece of information to trade. You know, we'll at least know where our range low is for, you know, currently. But anyway, that's a maybe. Wouldn't really buy it now, but I don't know if I had to choose. Doesn't look good. Be worried about a stop hunt dance here, but at the same time, I wouldn't sell it here. It's not a good sell because of this potential low.
Give me like 1920 and I'll buy it. Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about and why. But yeah, but yeah, it's yeah, I would wait on that. If you know, if it's gonna break that low, then yeah. I mean, it's got this block right here. You can probably see that. It's probably like 1 hour. Probably see it better, but yeah, right here in the 1 hour, you can see what's going on here. An order block right here, and looking for the buy side of that block. You know, if you you know, split this like we do our range, it's the same thing. It's the same principle. You know, you're looking for the buy side of this block here. You know, if we projected that out, I could see that happening. You know. Normally I just mark it like this, just trying to describe it for the people on the other side. And it's just how, you know, it's how that works. I just don't normally go through all that, but it's a good thing to understand, you know. But yeah, exactly that. I would definitely watch.
Not for like a long-term hold or anything, but just for that day, it'll probably have some sort of reaction and get it
right.
At least
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is if it doesn't hold this range low, that's where I'd be looking for sure. You know, see what's going to happen here, if this is going to be a consolidation or if this is actually coming down to break the low and then start the process of making a lower high. You know, it's probably going to be there that it's going to bounce. I totally agree with that. You know, just based on that, you know, you can see it on the 1 hour. It's a 1 hour order block. Just people call it different things and different reasons, and you know, normally just watch the dollar like really watch the underside. So yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing, but see if this range low holds first. And then, and that's the thing is if this looks like it could be the stop hunt dance, and then you know what I mean? Like if it stops down here, that would make more sense. I would be more interested in it down there for exactly that reason. You're looking for the buy side of this block. You got a previous block down here. Below that is just a gap in liquidity. So if it's going to cut through that, it's probably going much lower anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it'll be an easy stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could have tight stops on that. Yeah,
and it depends on the time it hits, and like you have to wait till for the timing too. It depends on what time of the day it hits.
And it's it's going to have a big day to the downside. It could happen tomorrow is another thing. If this stopped and just went up a little bit and then rolled over tomorrow and made a low down there tomorrow and then came back up to make a lower high, that's possible.
Maybe in Asia, man. And maybe in Asia today, it does the little. Maybe it pops up to the trap and then gets rejected, breaks the low, slightly lower low than these, and then we'll see. But it could happen. And then
yeah, it's a maybe. Definitely watching it. Definitely watching that for sure.
No trade right now, though.
Someone on YouTube asked, "What do you think about XRP?" What do we think? Think about XRP? Oh, man, we had that whole conversation the other day. I mean, just objectively looking at the facts with Ripple, you've got the chairman of this. Basically, the federal government is suing Ripple for being an illegal trading instrument. Is one way to put it. An unlicensed, unregistered security. They're trying to circumvent the financial regulations. When you've got people like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, all those, the titans of finance who have granted patents, they've followed the legal procedures that they're required to follow. And then you've got somebody like Ripple just, flaunting in the face of the regulations. Then, somebody like Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan's going to go to the SEC and say, hey, guys, if you're going to go through our books every week and make us follow all these laws and audit us all the time, then why don't you take a look at Ripple? You got a $60 billion securities fraud, clearly defrauding their investors. If you don't do something about this, I'm going to make a big stink and a big fuss about it. And then, probably the SEC's probably been building a case for a while against Ripple, and now they've come out and said, look, we're not going to allow you guys to get away with this anymore. And we're declaring you. Yeah, Wayne, it's funny. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. I was talking in the chat, bad jobs numbers and everything's flying. Yeah, it's funny how that works. But yeah, the SEC's coming out saying, if, this, we've let you get away with it for a while. Honestly, I'm surprised it took that long, so, so right now, you've got the federal government in the United States declaring that Ripple is illegal to trade, and they're going to make, if you're an exchange or any kind of broker or exchange or broker who's trying to follow the law and trying to do things legit, and the SEC comes out and says this thing's illegal and what they're suing, they're going to delist it. And that's exactly what happened. It's the first thing we talked about is watch for the delisting. And then the announcement came, like a couple days later, from Coinbase, saying they were going to stop trading, I think January 19th. So, I mean, it had an 81% drop off the high. I mean, it's just something, it's toxic. It is a no touchy.
It's gonna be volatile.
It's no touchy. Yeah, it could be volatile because some people are going to take the risk anyway and they're going to buy the dip. But the problem is, it depends on if, how long is it going to take before volume comes back in, before people start buying it. If they're pulling it off of the exchanges, there's no more on ramps. That's going to severely impact the daily trading volume and the liquidity, the amount of liquidity that can be taken at one time. As a market whole, it's a significant portion of the market, of the crypto market, is another thing. And on top of that, what about all the other projects?
The money's rotating though out into other stuff right now.
And that could be
flying, man.
Yeah, and
We're
that could
almost
be,
into one.
buying other stuff. Bitcoin's back at 35K. I think the question is when we're at peak speculation right now. Talked about this a lot lately. Look at the stock market. Look at how low the dollar is. Look, we have peak speculation. Look at Bitcoin. Look at the stocks. Look at oil, where oil is. Everything, gold, like everything is crazy right now. Like we have an everything bubble. We're in an everything bubble, and we have a massive economic shift coming. We've got a very different economic, from a policy perspective. You got a very different type of administration about to come in the U.S.
The market's brave, man. Like just in the face of everything going on,
super brave.
Flying. Yeah. Like everybody's just full risk on. People are trying to get into trading now. What's crypto? How do I trade stocks? Like,
it's a scary time, man. Everybody's buying the high right now. That's what I feel like. I think in hindsight, we're gonna look back at this later and be like, "Yep, that was it." It's like we saw it coming. It's crazy because every time this happens, it's like we always see it coming. And it's just like I think it's always hard to get into the short and not get stopped out. It's hard to stay solvent. As long as markets stay irrational, that kind of thing. Markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So that's the thing is it's always difficult to short it, because it just always goes a little more and then it comes out of nowhere. The dump happens out of nowhere. It's always something you never see coming.
It'll squeeze until every last drop. It squeezes every last drop and then it just goes and you better be okay by that.
And it happens when everybody's euphoric, when everything is euphoric and there's irrational exuberance. Just everybody's you can't lose. It's just like everybody's winning. Every day is a new all-time high, kind of like it is like right now. It's just the whole market's like that. The entire market is like that. So yeah, but yeah, as far as Ripple specifically, like, man, oh yeah, there's bears scaling in for sure. It's the right thing to do. The problem is just, how much higher is it going to go? But yeah, as far as Ripple specifically, I mean, it's obviously wrecked. I mean, I don't think there's any question there. I think the bigger question is, what about all the other projects that are technically doing the same thing? What about all the other ones? All the other ICO scams?
Well, XLM is, XLM, it does pretty much the same thing, is like the same thing as Ripple, and now it's pumping. It's worth, it went up to 38 cents today, and now it's back down to 29. But I think I'd rather have XLM than Ripple now. Like if I was gonna buy one of the two.
Not irrational yet. Well, yeah. I mean that's. I mean, there's an argument. To say that it is extremely irrational. I could just make one simple point to say that look at this thing. Look at this and look at the health of the economy. Look at the record job losses. We were off by 123,000 jobs negative today. Look at the record job losses. The health of the economy is traveling inversely to the prices of the stock market as a whole, as a global market. So I would say this is pretty irrational. I'd say I don't think it can possibly get any more irrational than this. Everybody buying the top. And what's crazy is before all the COVID stuff, before this big drop right here, right about here, these last couple of weeks, everybody was scared. Everybody was saying the markets are too high, valuations are too high, everything's crazy. And this was before everybody started losing their jobs. This was before that. And they were
now everything's like, no, it's good.
But think about that. I mean, that is irrational. Like, think about it. It's not logical. Like, it doesn't make sense. Before this happened, like every single day on CNBC, there was panic. When every day was an all-time high. They were like, the valuations are too high. This market is overvalued. It's crazy. Everybody was like, knew it was coming. And then all of a sudden, COVID, boom, 30-40% drop. And then everybody started losing their jobs. So the health of the economy was up here. And then the health of the economy juxtaposed, against, the prices of the stock market. The health of the economy started going down, and the stock market started going back up. So as everybody's losing their jobs, businesses start failing still. People need help. Businesses are failing. These prices of stocks are going up and up and up and up. That is irrational. That's just in my opinion. I think it's the most irrational thing that's ever happened. I mean, we're in an everything bubble. You know, we have a debt crisis. Yeah, there's so much crushing debt that, you know, people can't even pay their rent. People are, you know, 12 months behind in their rent right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
people are losing
and
houses
stock.
and stuff.
Yeah, people are losing everything. Yeah, it sucks, and it's just it's everybody. It's everywhere. You know, and the market just keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and it keeps going up. It's speculation. You know, this is gambling. It's just gambling. It's speculation on, you know, it's just, when is it going to stop? You know, it's a casino. Roll the dice. You know, roll the dice.
Literally, all I can trade is technicals. I don't even need to. I can't look at the news to trade because it has
just
no
doesn't make sense anymore. Exactly. I mean, this is proven that there is zero, literally none. There's no correlation there's no relationship between the prices of equities and just general prices of risk, you know, just risk in general. But, you know, between that and the health of the economy. I mean, the economy has just gone absolutely, it's the worst in history. And it's not just the US, it's everywhere. You know, there's a lot of Western countries, things are bad. Like, things are really bad. Except in China. China's booming, which is interesting. That's a whole nother conversation, but China is actually gaining right now, not losing. But, you know, it's one thing for the stock market to be going up. It's a whole nother thing for the health of the economy. Has nothing to do with the prices of the valuations of corporations when it's a speculative investment. You know, speculation is at an all-time high. You know, look at Bitcoin. You got Bitcoin at $35,000. Like, it's gone 800% off the low.
I take orders on Bitcoin and I go to type in the limit and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
it's crazy. Like, it's 800% off the low, parabolic. It's, you know, it's irrational exuberance. You know, people just euphoric buying the top just because everybody else is, because it's high. It's just, you know, buy. It's the only thing anybody can see right now is green. The, you know, red is not.
On Bitcoin, it's different. You know, there's actually. Yeah, you're right though.
Yeah, I just mean like as a whole, and just, you know, just means speculation is at an all-time high. We are peak speculation right now. Stonks. Yep. So yeah, it's just you know, the argument that I would have is that look at the health of the economy, like the actual health, like what's really going on. People losing their jobs. You got, you know, 700,000 people per week filing unemployment per week. Yeah, and then look at the prices of these stocks. And before all this COVID stuff happening, everybody was scared. They were all saying valuations are too high. Valuations are too high. These companies are too, they're too high. This is scary. It's dangerous. And then look what happens. Now we're way above that. You know, from where they were talking about that every single day, you know, we're 15% above that. And everybody's lost their jobs now.
I stopped.
you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, it's crazy.
Like, I got wrecked at first because I tried to impose that logic on the market. You know what I mean? Like, when it was in that whole run up, like we were I was trying to short, and it was just because I was trying to kind of impose my own, you know, what I thought it should be on the market. But instead, once I started like going with the flow and just being like, know what? Whatever, if the dollar's just gonna die, then I'm gonna short it, because you watch for like 3 months, people are just shorting the dollar every day and it just works. And it's like, know what? I'm gonna do it until it stops working.
That's the thing, is stuff has just kept going. Like, it's just been euphoria everywhere, you know. And part of it is, you know, the dollar's just been getting smoked. Part of it's the euro. The euro has been extremely strong.
But just don't feel euphoric like everybody else is. Like, understand where we are. Like, it's like you can still take part as far as trading it. Like, you can trade it technically, but just know that where we are and that at any time, like.
Just mean as a whole, like, that's what I mean. Like, at any time, this thing could take a 20-30% haircut, you know, easy. You know, look what Bitcoin did the other day, you know, and even the S&P, you know, it took a quick dive here. You know, anything can happen, you know, but looking at higher time frames, like, eventually it's going to come down. Like, I mean, let me look at this thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, eventually it's going to at least pull back and have some kind of corrective move, you know, like a real corrective move. It's just, it hasn't happened yet. And that's the thing, is it's hard to know when, and it's always something you don't see coming. It's always something that comes out of left field that you never would have thought. And then, you know, and it's too late. You know, that's the problem, is by the time it happens, it's too late. You know, you gotta then it's a race to the bottom. You know, everybody's diving out of it. You know, so it's musical chairs and the music. So you know when the music stops,
entries, so
right?
You're trying to get a big position. You're waiting for the big short. You can't get a good entry, so you're trying to get. It's hard to catch like a really nice entry with a decent amount of size on it when stuff is moving.
That's the problem. Is it's hard to not get stopped out. You know what? You know, waiting for it to go. You know, that is the whole problem. You know, can you stay solvent until the thing actually goes? You know, so.
And that's what the problem. Like I prefer to. I know it's gonna happen, but I want to see when it makes like a lower high and then start showing some sort of signs of weakness.
Exactly.
Or it has a huge day down and doesn't recover after something like that.
Yep, that's kind of what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. Weakness. Just waiting for the high, waiting for a lower high. Same thing on the S&P, just waiting for the lower high. You know, you got, you know, just waiting for that point where everybody says enough is enough, or when there's some kind of fundamental catalyst that scares everybody. You know, it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. What the really scary thing is about Bitcoin, I think it's going to be at $38,000 in a week or two.
That would be pretty wild if it was. I hope, man. I hope for everybody's sake that it does. That's wild. I mean, I'm not going to try to say that it's not possible. I'm not going to say that. Not now. I mean, again, just euphoria right now. I don't know why people are buying it. I don't know why people are buying it, but I don't know where the money's coming from. But
institutions, man. Like we were talking about this a little while back. And institutional money is starting to pour into this. Like
at 35,000 though, you know. Even at 20K, well, actually not
at 35. No,
I don't know, man.
No, it was though. At 20K, they were bloating up like these. After they saw that it could, like, because they look at the stuff on at least a minimum monthly time frame. When they saw that monthly closed above what's it called? All-time high.
Holy shit! It's Josh.
Yo, what's up? They started.
I've not heard you in ages. I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah,
how's my favorite oil indicator going?
Their oil indicator.
Yeah, Josh with the oil.
Here's Josh with the oil. Yeah, messing around. Old school. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I've been good, man. I've been chilling. Ain't been trading oil as much lately.
But yeah, anyway. Yeah, crypto's been pretty wild, man. We've been watching it, and it's just gone on this parabolic craziness. Like the monthly chart is just absolutely just crazy. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, it's been a joy to trade, man. It goes up like that whole dude.
You know, the question is when is, you know, where's the 20K high, you know, just like the previous one, you know, where is the high? You know, it's coming. Where is it? You know, it's coming.
The pattern we're printing just right waiting. Now, if you overlay it's a fractal from ATH actually, and I actually put a chart up in our Discord like a while back of like I was like, this is my hopium chart for Bitcoin. It followed it literally to like it's scary. But
there's a daily block forming. Like it's there. I've been watching on the daily. You can see it on the daily. Yeah, there's definitely a daily block there, and we're on the top end of it and waiting for it. You know, just waiting for the high.
I think it's probably get one close. Spike high, and I think it's going to be around 38K.
That could be. I mean, it could be. I that's the thing is that, I mean, it would, you know, that would make sense. You know, some high. I'm waiting for the high. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. When is it going to stop, and then start to show that peak high of the cycle? I'm waiting for the top of the cycle. You know,
I feel like we're just talking about that. A crazy blow off top, man. Like I have a feeling when this thing blows off, it's gonna be like a 5K push up, and then just throughout the day, and then a 2K wick on the top candle, just like in 5 minutes type of thing. Just a huge sell.
Yeah.
We'll see though. Right now, I think good times are still rolling.
Yeah, I was gonna say the music hasn't stopped yet, but we all know what happens when the equities market starts to sell off, when the traditional markets take a dive. You know what the first thing to go is. I mean, we learned this lesson before. You know, so that's the thing, is when is everything gonna stop? You know, it's probably all gonna stop at the same time, but you know, that's the thing, is when. You know, there's no reason to try to short it yet. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for it to put in a high that's identifiable, or for the equities market to die. When are the indices finally gonna actually show a high too? You know, when's that gonna kind of come down? And when that comes down, first thing to go is Bitcoin. It's the first thing to go. You know, we learned this lesson last time.
It has been traditionally, but we might end up seeing it perform like gold used to. Like you know, when how gold used to go up as an inverse to the stock market. You might end up seeing Bitcoin hold stronger than
yeah, I'm just I'm not. Yeah, it's just I'm just watching right now. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for it to come down. I'm waiting for the cycle high. It's not there yet. You know, I'm not trying to short it yet, but it's just one of those things where when it comes, it's going to happen faster than you can get in. That's the problem. You know, it's going to, you know, you're going to get one of those crazy days. It's going to happen quicker than you can get in. I already had a big day the other day, but yeah, anyway, watching it. Had a 20%.
I'm just wondering if like the people that are buying now are the same ones that got wrecked buying like a 20K.
Yeah, it's fresh meat. It's new.
They're like, I'm not missing this one, and then wrecked again.
Fresh meat, you know, it's fresh meat. Yeah, everybody learned the lesson last time. You know, that's the thing. Now you got a whole new generation, a whole new cycle of fresh, you know, opponents coming in, you know, and everybody's buying the high, you know, and then it's going to go down to 20K or go back down to 10,000. Everybody's going to think it's not possible. And just because everybody thinks it's not possible, it will, you know, so, you know, that's,
but think about this though. Wall Street is completely on board with Bitcoin right now, which is crazy.
I mean,
and
we'll see. I haven't seen it personally. I think it's a hard thing to know, but I think there's a lot of talk about it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
A lot of investment firms. I'll have to post some stuff in the Discord. But a lot of investment firms have been talking about it. There were ones that were talking about buying at 28K, right where that big wick was when it dumped, was where they were saying they were starting to load up, and that's exactly where it ended up wicking for a perfect entry.
We'll see.
Like,
I know it's
interesting.
I mean, I don't know. Risk
and they average
wise,
up, like institutions, they just, when they buy, like, they'll average up their position. Like they buy a lot low, and they'll continue to buy as it goes up. So
we'll see, man. It's unknowable right now. It's unknowable. I don't know. I'm waiting for the high. I know this thing is just is next level. It's next level high right now. 800% off the low. Yeah, it's just parabolic. Yeah, it's so high that it's crazy. It's nutty high. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Actually, I'm curious. Actually, let me look at something real quick.
It's like imagine one day, pound Aussie just or 1 week made it just 5x'd its ADR. And then that's what you're dealing with now when you catch an ADR move. It's like, that's what I feel like with Bitcoin right now. It's like, oh my god.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, we're more than twice the monthly range right now. So
it's gonna be interesting.
It's I was just looking. We traveled 30% this month. Holy cow. Yes. Got a $3,900 average for the month. And we've traveled 8,100. Lol. I don't know, man. Pretty high. It's pretty high. I wish I could go out a yearly. It's probably not enough information for that, but yeah. Man, that it's just, it's hard to place a bet on it because there's not really any reference. You know, we're in price discovery mode. You know, we've got a whole bunch of new money come into the market. I think the question is what happens when it goes away. That's always the question. And when. It's hard to know when. It's just I'm waiting for the bat signal and trade the volatility between the ranges. I mean, you got some big gaps in liquidity here. You got some pretty well defined ranges at 20K and 24K. You know, you got the 20K, the 18 to 20, and you got the 20 to 24 range, and then you got a big bunch of gaps, just
that was my first big
parabolic. You know, I think as long as it comes back and holds at 19,000, I think it'd be good. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if it's gonna go below 20K again.
You know how many times? I don't know. I was just saying, how many times I've heard that? Like, it's never going below 10K again. It goes to 3,800. Like, you know, it's hard to. That exactly is why I would be worried about it, is because everybody, you know, you would think that, you would think, you know, maybe it's not going to go lower, you know, because it's going to have to take a 30% dump just to get there. Actually, it's going to have to go 45% to get back down to 19 from here. And it's just like, it's like, how is that even possible? You know, it's just be like, it seems like it's impossible, but that's exactly why it's likely to happen. You know, it just may take, it could take 2 years though. Like it could take 2 years to do it. Yeah. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. Yeah, so I think we need to know where the high is.
Going either. What if
we need to know where the high is first.
Dude, what if we see Bitcoin at like 50,000 plus?
I hope so, man. I hope so. I honestly hope so. I hope it goes. I hope it just keeps going and never stops. Honestly, I hope it just keeps going.
Man, I need to enter. I need to enter the market.
Get in, man. Need to get in.
Bro.
Yeah. Hopefully it keeps going.
That dip was the mother of all dips to buy. That it was so.
Yeah.
Well,
it's crazy.
28 to 28K there, like the last on the 4th, like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was like a 20% day. Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, that was
when
a good
you see
dip.
blood like that, I was watching the order books, and just when you see that kind of blood, you just buy it. Especially that second, like after a dump on the watching the 1 hour, the next 1 hour candle, it started rejecting right on a previous area, and then that was the entry right there.
Yeah, it's just scary high right now. That's the only thing I'm saying. It's just, man, yeah. I want to see it put in some kind of structure or something, and then I'll talk. You know, look at getting in. Yeah, man, it's crazy high. Anyway, I thought that. Yeah, Bitcoin's wild. It's been crazy lately. We're watching it. I'm
trading heaven, dude.
That's what I'm looking to start to get into that, but I want to wait until the high, until the high happens, where I'm confident that was the high. Every time it breaks the high is just, I'm going to wait until it doesn't break the high and then start looking at it.
You're on the top end of the buying, and you don't want to get into that, so you got to wait for the selling to start.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. We're just in a weird spot on it right now because it's so high. It's on the high now. It's sitting on a higher high, so it's, just waiting for that cycle high, waiting for it to roll over, put in some kind of range in a lower high, and then it's going to be just like, that's the cool thing about it, is this year is going to be probably a really good year. Looking at where the equities market is, looking at where the dollar is, looking where Bitcoin is, there's so many opportunities, like extreme opportunities.
Oh, dude.
This year.
It already is an amazing year. Like this year started off like long on Bitcoin, and then it just it exploded, dude. Like I was just like, what?
Yeah, I know. A lot of people are happy about that. Like I got out a little early, but I'm fine with it.
700% long on that.
I did really well with it. I'm totally cool with it. I'm just waiting right now. Now I'm sitting back. I can breathe. I have no stress. I'm like, all right, finally. Now let's see what happens. Now let's watch it.
Yeah, we made it.
Yeah. Ninja, we made it. Yeah. I'm just watching it, man. I was just watching it, and I'm just glad, man. It's crypto to the moon, man. I'm down with it.
Good.
Bitcoin specifically.
It's a good thing you held, through all of that.
Yeah, man. I'm honestly like, I you always wish you wouldn't have sold some earlier. It's like, man, if I would have just hold the whole thing, but you can't see the future. And I sold some at like 12. I got out of like a lot at like 12,000.
You sold the exact top. You sold it, and then it
was like last
down,
summer.
Like,
Yeah. I did really good last year with Bitcoin, so I have no complaints there. Just trading wise, and then I accumulated more from trading than I ever bought. And but yeah, man, I just right now I'm just waiting. I'm sitting in USD wallet waiting, and I'm waiting to see what to do, if I'm going to withdraw or re-enter. I want to see what's going to happen, and I don't know. We'll see.
What are good brokers to trade BTC, BB, without actually buying Bitcoin, like trading it like Forex?
Like a CFD. A lot of brokers, a lot of Forex brokers have it. They'll have like futures.
IC markets, but trading Bitcoin there is kind of shitty.
Some kind of the spread can be crazy. Yeah.
Man, it's like $60 spread or something like that.
Yeah, man, Bybit, there's a 50-cent spread, man. 50-cent spread and all the liquidity you could ever ask for. And Bybit,
I've been trading on Binance,
you have to, Binance too. Same thing. You can do margin trading on Binance now. But yeah, I don't know what the spread is on Binance, but I know
they got perp futures. Futures. It's just
perp
the
swaps.
fees.
Yeah, perp swaps are great. Yeah. Yeah, you get filled at price. You get filled 50 cents off price on an asset that's at $35,000. So you get, it's basically your market fill is basically zero spread. But then you got a little bit of commissions. It depends, but
in terms of Bitcoin, it's zero spread. But the fees are all right. It's like 0.01440.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on some of the Forex brokers that they have a big markup on it. They have a big spread, and that's how they make their money. It's honestly sometimes it's not worth it. Yeah, exactly. I said the LPs, the liquidity providers, are just they mark it up so it's not really the brokers, it's the liquidity providers. They mark it up so big. Like some brokers will have like a $50, $60 spread. It's crazy, and then you go to Bybit and it's got a 50-cent spread. It's at market. Like you can buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin and not move the market, like not even 50 cents. That's that kind of thing. But you have to have a spot. You have to buy a spot first, then transfer it. But if you're actually trading to gain satoshis and not and not dollars, you trade in dollar units, Bybit or something like that. Where there's perpetual swap futures with a low spread. Either like Binance or Bybit, I would suggest.
Yeah, Binance is easy just because if you want a fiat on ramp, your exchange,
that's true. Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, yep.
But
I have Binance here.
Yeah, Binance is a good option.
But
I forgot about that. They're on ramp now.
Yeah, I use Binance all the time. I trade futures on Binance.
Oh, yeah, I got Binance.
Is no spread, zero spread.
Yep. Yeah, it's just fees, right?
Yeah.
I mean, very small, man. I have been trading ETH perpetual now for
that's one that I haven't traded perp swaps on Binance.
And you can wire money to them. They wire money to your account. Is real simple. Sell your crypto and they wire it to your account the next day.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's all changed on Binance over the last probably 6 months to a year. It didn't used to be like that.
A few months,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's all changed. It's a lot easier experience now. It's a much better experience as far as the overall, like the one-stop shop. You don't have to buy it on Coinbase, transfer it, that kind of thing. If you can, if it's all in one place, that's deposit.
And you could trade to USD, or you could trade to actually hold the coins.
Right.
So they settle in either ETH if you trade in ETH or in USD.
Yeah,
same perpetual swap.
Yeah, I like settlement in dollars.
Oh, yeah, you can trade the coin settled futures or the USDT settled futures. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, see, that's all, man. I might have to get back on here. I might start doing that actually. I just haven't been on Binance in a while. I've done everything.
I loaded it up and started trading ETH perpetual.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you can trade.
What's up, Josh? I didn't realize that's you. What's up, brother? Good to have you back, man.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, brother. Yep, it's good to hear you, man.
I'm glad to be back.
But yeah. If you can trade dollar settled, then I might get back into the game on Binance.
Yeah, trade you can trade $2. You can trade USDT or their Binance US dollar, which is a stable coin.
Can you withdraw in dollars, like to your account, or do you have to withdraw like to Bitcoin?
you can withdraw
they can
directly,
like an ACH wire transfer or something.
It's a regular wire transfer. They charge you
man.
$30, and they send it the next business day.
Awesome. I didn't
Really
know you
simple.
could do that anymore. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been on it in a while. I didn't know you could do that there. So yeah, if there's an off ramp, I'm not even as much worried about the on ramp as the off ramp. So that's the thing. If you can go direct, if you can trade dollar settled, and yeah, that's actually cool. Yeah, if you can trade dollar settled.
I do not know though for the states, because Binance, there is issues with the states.
I
they
think
have
it depends
Binance,
it depends on what state you're in.
There's Binance US, but I don't know if they have all the same stuff.
I think it's at the state level in the US. I don't know if I can get away with that or not. I do it a different way generally. Binance launches trading in Florida, fully registered, regulated crypto exchange. Okay, so registration open for Florida. What do we need? What do they need? KYC, I'm assuming. Florida's key state for Binance. Yeah, probably bringing in that revenue.
So can I put like sell orders like I do in any other Forex exchange?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. You can go both ways on perpetual swap futures. Yeah, you can go both ways. I was gonna say if they have perp swaps and there's an off ramp, I'll probably get back on here. Actually, I might actually do that. Throw a little bit. I'm ready to start trading Bitcoin again.
I use Binance, but just hold. I use Binance and Coinbase just to hold. So I didn't know I could sell BTC without having BTC.
I just haven't looked at it in forever. I normally just buy on Coinbase and then just
like $100 and make. You can like I've had like 600% freaking.
Sure.
700% trades, just like because I do using degen amounts of leverage. Because I can get a sniper entry with the tool, man. It's like, oh crap.
Yeah, I might have to get back into doing this.
Just 100x on the bottom of a wick, loving your life.
Yeah, what's the spread here? 83 and 92, 26 and 25. So there's like $1 spread, something like that. Hard to see it. Is it? Okay, I can't tell. Keeps moving too fast. I don't know what the spread is. It's like it's not bad though. I mean, it's it's like within $1. Yeah, so I have to look at it. Yeah, as long as I think the problem with like the CFDs like Forex brokers, a lot of them have Bitcoin trading, but the spread is just stupid. It's just absolutely crazy. Like some of them have like a $50-$60 spread. And it's just
not an exchange, so like how would they even? I don't know. I can imagine why.
They're taking that
Bitcoin,
risk. They're taking that volatility risk and providing that liquidity. 22 looks like the spread's pretty good here. It's like 50 cents, something like that, 50, 60 cents.
They do freeze up a decent amount during crazy price action. So you have that on the phone app where it always works though, pretty much for me.
He's talking about getting filled. Mess up sometimes.
I'm talking about like if you're using it on your desktop, when price is moving, I could just be my computer too, but when price is moving like crazy, it starts like freezing up and it runs a lot slower. But so I'll have to go on my phone.
Bullish right now, short term. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna go. I think it's gonna go to 38.
It's short-term bullish, man. It is. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I might have to get back. It's something that I'm gonna do this year is get back into this. I'm waiting for it to make a high and make some kind of identifiable range high or something. Just wherever I think where there's a good chance that there's a high, or if there's a big drop, a big enough drop that there's volatility to trade in between. Between the high and wherever the low of a range is on Bitcoin, I'm going to get back into trading it. That's something that I'm actually going to do.
Are you guys ready for
I'm just sitting in dollar.
Are you ready for a new ATH today?
Yeah, it's probably coming. It's bullish right now.
It's coming.
It's bullish.
It's going to go for ATH for sure. It's going to go for 38K. Like I have a
I'm waiting for the high.
Very likely target. Because there's a pattern we just broke out of in a measured move of this. It's just a pennant pattern. But literally, Bitcoin, what's caught me these trades has been also the tool. But each consolidation, I've just been marking the highs out with trend lines. And then like the one at from 22 to to 24K was a diamond. Like, you know, and
Yeah.
how those
yeah.
same thing. If you look at the one from 16 to 19, it literally did the same exact thing twice in a row. Just made it came and made that that lower low, then it came up, made a higher high, and then came back and did that higher low, that diamond we always look at. And that's where I got in on what's it called, the 11th, was at like 17.8 area.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
It's sick. It is crazy. It's just been repeating the same patterns over and over again this whole pump. And it's doing it again. And a measured move of this break would be like, what is it?
Probably much higher.
$5,000 up. Would be like, yeah, 37.50, 37.6. Insane,
Yep.
dude.
Yeah, I'm ready for the. I would trade it here. I would definitely trade perp swaps. You know, because the price doesn't matter. You know, you're just trading the volatility. You know, settled in dollars. It doesn't matter.
FOREX, brother.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, that I prefer that, right? You know, that kind of thing, especially right now. But you know, as far as, you know, it's buying spot, I mean, it's really not that much difference, I guess. If you're ready to go to, unless you just got to be ready to go to cash. You know, go to Tether or something. You know. But you got to be, you got to watch it.
Just manage your risk, right?
Yeah, because you can't short, or you have to hedge with a future short, which is another option. You know, you can. That's what I normally do. I'll hold spot and then I'll trade perp swaps to hedge that risk. I'll hedge the downside risk with, you know, an equally weighted perp swap and just hold synthetic, you know, like a synthetic hedge. You know, synthetic cash. You know, if you have
it's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, like if you have $100 in Bitcoin spot and, you know, you go short, you know, if you're worried about it coming down, you just go short $100 in dollars. You take $100 perp swap short, and then you've locked it. You know, you've locked it in place, and then it doesn't matter. Whatever it does, it doesn't matter. You don't lose. You know, if you lose spot value, if the price goes down, you know, you lose at the same rate that you gain on your future short. So it's a synthetic hedge.
It's a better idea in selling than selling in a bull trend, for sure. Like when it's a bull trend and you know that it's very likely to continue up, it's a multi-week, multi-month type of bull trend. But you do think it's a possible, like, you know, cycle high or something. Then exactly, just synthetic hedge, and then you can, if it makes that higher low that you were looking for, and it's going to continue your macro trend, you could close out your hedge, and then you're back long again, and you made some money.
You know, the outcome is, you know, if you're wrong, you lose Satoshis, but not dollars. You keep your dollar gain. And that's the thing, is, you know, you can't lose dollars that way. You might lose some Satoshis if you take a short and it keeps going up in your future short, and, you know, it says, you know, I was thinking it was going to go down, it keeps going up. You don't lose anything. You don't lose dollars. You know, you lose Satoshis, but again, it depends on your goal. You know, if you're trading for dollars, that doesn't matter. It literally doesn't mean anything. You know, if that's the craziest thing about Bitcoin, is it's like, it really is one of the best assets to trade, honestly.
It's the best
because of how it works. You know, because you know, it's very similar to gold. It's like owning physical gold and then trading futures to offset your, you know, your take that counter risk, you know, to offset your downside risk.
Or it's like owning stocks and trading options against them.
Exactly. The same thing, you know. Bitcoin is just really interesting because it's a digital asset. It's a digital spot asset. So you don't have to go, you know, hold physical something. You don't have to take it to a store, you know, pawn shop somewhere and sell your gold or whatever. You know, it's all digital. It's instant, you know, almost instant. You can do it all from one place. So it's a really good arbitrage instrument too, you know. So it's interesting.
Oh yeah,
a lot of stuff you can do with it. But yeah, trading, you know, holding spot asset and trading perpetual swap futures is the right way to do it. You know, honestly, it's the right risk management way. You know, because then you don't have to get out of the market. Same thing. It's like it's like holding stocks, and then, you know, taking an option short to hedge that in case the market comes down. And if it doesn't come down and it keeps going up, you don't lose anything. You still keep the same amount of dollars. The amount of dollars doesn't change. You just might lose some Satoshis, But again, if your goal is to trade for dollars, that doesn't matter. If you're trying to gain Satoshis, that's a different story, but you should probably just be trading spot flat anyway. But yeah, interesting. I'm ready to start trading Bitcoin again because of what it's doing and where it's at. You know, just kind of missed the bull run, but it doesn't matter. You know, I got out of the spot that I was holding. I just had spot in a wallet that was just sitting there, and it was more of like a savings account. You know, it was like basically took my savings account and put it in Bitcoin a long time ago.
It's better. It's a better percentage.
It ended up working out.
It
was a good decision, put it that way. But yeah, just, you know, right now I'm just stress free, just waiting and just kind of watching what's going on with the market. And anyway, yeah, I'm ready to start trading it again.
For us to be trading, man.
It's a good time to be trading Bitcoin, like day trading Bitcoin. As soon as this thing makes a high, especially because there's going to be just wild volatility, you know, coming down and retesting the high and all that. There's going to be huge volatility to trade on this, just massive moves, you know, huge moves, and it's going to be good.
Gold is dumping. Gold is really nearing that area we were drawing out earlier.
Yeah, so this makes sense.
Let's see what happens.
So it didn't hold the range. Yeah, this is another one. I wish I would have shorted it earlier. It would have been a good short. But yeah, you got the previous there. This all makes sense. You got multiple reasons why this is a thing here. You know, so as this approaches the bottom end of this, the bottom side of this block, we'll look at this actually. Put it up for YouTube to look at. And so it's not going to be a range, and or it could just be a lower level range. It's probably this is probably rolling over to start a series of lower highs, lower lows. Got a 1 hour block here. Mark this out for YouTube. I'm not going to give too much information, but right here, just mark this out. If it's going to bounce, it's probably going to bounce here. Yeah, this is what we're talking about on the other side. This is definitely going to be a thing. And then there's an algorithmic level here also, just below this. So there's, you know, this is probably going to be a level that's going to hold. I think the big thing is this going to, whatever, stop down here? It's doing a stop hunt now, start to do this thing, come up and make a lower high, and then start that kind of thing, and end up being in like some kind of down, like channel or something. You know, is this kind of thing going to happen? You know, looking for the low here to come back up and then see if we're going to make a lower high. And if this starts distributing and fails to get back above this consolidation right here, going to try to short this. Probably going to be tomorrow. There's probably going to be a massive short here to come back and break this low. We'll watch it and see. It's a maybe. It's just a possibility at this point. We're going to watch how this yeah, overall it is a trend. Yeah, it's kind of a big range overall, but it's coming back up. I mean, it is coming back up. You know, overall, you know, that's the thing, is it going to break this high? It's just kind of been in this big range. It's definitely moving back up, but we've had multiple runs back up, and, you know, just short term, I mean, I guess short term, you know, just looking for a move back up to see if this is going to make a lower, you know, do something like that and then end up doing that kind of thing. You know, who knows? That's the thing, is what happens here.
Look to the left. It's doing the exact same thing as it did right the last time it was at this level. Like yeah. Wait, no, just if yeah, right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
How it dropped off. This is gonna fake people out into selling because they're gonna think it's gonna do something just like that.
Yeah, right now, yeah, it's definitely not a sell right now. I'm gonna see how this is gonna hold, if this is gonna hold or not. And that's the thing, is what happens when it, you know, when it comes back up here. Is it gonna break the high, or is it gonna make a lower high? And that's the thing, you know, when we get back into this density here, you know, if you project this out,
I'm gonna chuck an order on it right now.
Is this going to, like, it's honestly, like, it's not a bad time to buy. It's a pretty good risk to try to take. It's a counter trend. It's a counter trend risk, but it's a good risk. You know, if you look at the 1 hour, it's not a bad time to buy it. You know, he's kind of done the stop hunt dance here. You got a big block forming here. It's risky, but it's not a bad risk.
It's not done yet
because it's probably because of how low this is. I mean, it took a huge dump here, you know, so now you got a couple reasons why this is you're probably going to get some kind of pullback up at least a little bit tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be a pullback up to see if we're going to make a lower high or not. It's just a big, huge range. But yeah, this level makes sense for many reasons.
We're nearing pullback time too.
Yeah.
We're nearing lunchtime too, and they usually reverse the trend of the day sometime from like 10:30 to 12. So.
Yeah, this makes sense. You know, overall it makes sense.
Least.
It's a good scalp to try to catch this wick up. Yeah, it could take a couple hours for that to stabilize, but I think that's probably about it for the day, for the dump. I think the dump's over. The dump has been canceled, is what it looks like. It's no longer a good risk to try to sell this anymore now, you know. Yeah, it's not a good idea to try to sell it at this point.
It might keep dropping though. We'll see.
And see how this consolidates around here, but you know, again, you want to see if this is going to hold, but yeah, we'll see. We're entering that level where it's, you know, whatever. Got a target average here. See what happens. But yeah, it's it's too low to sell it now. We'll see how this block holds on the 1 hour. You can see it on the 1 hour what's going on, but yeah, I mean, coming off the high of the week too. Yeah, coming off the weekly high, very close. Money. Yeah, so
this is the start of the monthly candle too. I haven't looked at the monthly.
See what happens there. We'll watch it going on.
See, I gotta stop below.
I would have shorted that. CAD's not doing anything. This was a disappointment today. Just didn't go anywhere. It's just messy. It's not dying, but it's not pumping either. It's just in this crazy range. It's a little late in the day for this to be making a big move. I don't know. We'll see what's up there. There's kind of watching at this point. There's not really a lot going on. It's freaking whatever this is. Euro Aussie came back, but
S&P, man.
As long as this makes a higher low, I'm okay with it on Euro Aussie. Let's see how this 1 hour closes. As long as it makes a higher low, I'm good. There's no reason to get out of it yet. Yeah, just kind of chilling, watching right now. Wow. Yeah, S&P moved. Big pump. I didn't even notice that. Oil made a big move back to the top of the range. You got oil. Okay, so we got inventories. Okay, so inventories they were probably good. It was expected to be good. Let's take a look at what we got. Whoops, that was not it.
Wait a minute.
All right, so inventories were at 1030. Yeah, so a cut of 8 million. So it was a beat. It was a beat on the estimate. They lowballed it, and you know, they lowballed the estimate, beat it by 5.2 million. So yeah, so you had an 8 million barrel cut. So that made sense. We were expecting that to be bullish already. So as this pumps up, the question is what happens? Does it get faded on oil? So just oil is just back. It's in a big consolidation and it's just back at the top of the range. It's not a buy. It's way too high to buy it. It's way too high. So again, but it, you know, again, depends on your time frame. If you're trading a very low time frame, it's a different story, but we're in this area of sellers here. You know, you're walking into an ambush here, trying to buy this right now. But anyway, oil is definitely pumping. S&P, huge move here. I don't know what that's about. Bad jobs numbers today. Horrible jobs numbers. S&P moon. Equities, stocks are flying. Lol.
Stocks are moving.
Donks. Aussie yen.
All right, yeah, gold might do the big though. I just looked at the month, the monthly and the weekly. The weekly is kind of scary, honestly.
Let's see if this consolidates at this level. This is a level where it's likely. This is where your contract settlement's going to be from the other day. This is where your balance point was. You're rebalancing. Let's see what happens. 17.8. Let's actually watch this thing. Boy, she is in trouble. 1917.8. the level.
Oh, this is Megarex.
See what happens there. It needs to consolidate on this level. And it's very low for the day. It's crazy low.
Oh no, this is
Next level down is pretty far. Next level down is your weekly low.
I got stopped. That's actually savage though.
Let's watch it and see what happens. So it blew through that block like it didn't exist. We'll watch the averages down to the next one. Yikes. Pain.
This is a dump.
Pounds dying too. Man, what the heck is going on? Pounds catching a savage dump too on the pound and gold at the same time. Pound across the board's coming down. Huh.
Oh my god. That was
Watch this and see what happens. We're kind of in no man's land here. We're back into the low side on this other right here. Below that, it's smashed. You know, if it doesn't stop here and consolidate on this level.
Oh, dude, it's gonna rip.
This better be it on gold.
Bro, yeah, it's really not it. This ain't it.
I mean, that's it. Yeah, that's your low side.
See, yeah, this daily is actually pretty scary.
I'm gonna watch this for a minute. Give me 1 second. ETH Euro. Yeah, we'll take a look at ETH Euro. Hold on, give me 1 second. That's an interesting one. We'll take a look at it. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Let me grab a drink and we'll take a look at Ethereum Euro. Why not? Give me a second.
Watch out, there might be a fat short on Bitcoin coming up. Either that or it's gonna move. This next 4 hours is gonna be big. Bitcoin here. It's probably gonna be moving. Oh, no.
Okay, let's take a look. More and poor gold. Same better bounce.
Yeah, that got stopped out so quick.
Yeah, so this thing better bounce soon. We'll watch it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. It's catching hell right now. Let's take a look at Ethereum Euro. There's one I've never looked at. See if this gets stopped out, by the way. I'm gonna watch this. Make sure that doesn't do anything crazy. Watch the low of the range on that. This is still okay, but we'll see. Hopefully this makes a higher low here. 1 second.
I think we're gonna get some fireworks in the next hour. Watch for this next 4 hour coming on everything.
The plan stand. Yeah, we'll watch that. Ethereum Euro, let's check it out. 1 second. Interesting. When we're trading, I've seen it on Kraken. I know Kraken has those Euro pairs. Check it out on Coinbase. I didn't know Coinbase had that. Ethereum versus the Euro. How about that? All right. I mean, it's crazy high. Right now, again, game theory wise, it depends on what your strategy is, but the dollar's very low. So assuming that the dollar is going to reverse, if you were looking to short Ethereum, you probably want to short it against the dollar, because the euro is very high, and if the euro is going to turn around and come down a little bit, Ethereum versus the euro may be a slower gain than Ethereum versus the dollar, but that's just game theory aside. As far as favorability of a trade, you know, as far as what's likely to be an outperformer, I think Ethereum dollar is going to outperform Ethereum euro on a short if you're looking to short it. But if you're looking to buy it, might be a different story. I mean, the thing's just crazy high. It's nutty how high that is. Yeah, it's basically the same as all the others. It's interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, right now, 4 hour, I mean, things on a high. I don't really like buying this kind of thing. And you get this big, get a big bullish candle, and then kind of like this failure. You got 11 minutes to close a 4 hour. That's kind of like a hanging man, what people call a hanging man, which is basically just, it's buyer exhaustion, if you think about it that way. There aren't enough buyers coming in at the top to push this thing higher. It sold off a little bit and some buyers came in, but not enough to push it bullish. And there's still 11 minutes to close, but you know, this is interesting. It's interesting. You know, just looking at the 4 hour, just, you know, just top down price action. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, where this is, you know, it's on a high, big bullish close on the previous, and then you got this failure to break the high. So the next 4 hour candle is likely to be down, in my opinion, probably back into this previous level, you know, back 870, something like that. I would watch it. Man, losing my voice. Interesting though. So the 4 hour is a potential short-term bearish move, short-term pullback. 1 hour, it's crazy on the 1 hour because it's not necessarily that bad. Doesn't look that bearish. Again, we'll have to see how that closes, but you know, right now, I mean, it's holding a range. Not terrible. Yeah, again, it depends. It's never a good idea to buy something that's at the top of a range like this. Doesn't matter what it is. You know, if you look at this section of price right here, you can see sellers on the top. You got buyers on the bottom. You know, we're kind of in the middle of it right now. If you were trying to buy it, your better risk reward would be to buy any wick down here into this buyer level right here. See the buy zone. And if you're looking to sell, it'd be a good idea to wait until at least went higher. So we're kind of in the middle where it's neither. There's no entry here. But as far as price action goes, I mean, it's a consolidation, and in a trend, when there's some kind of a range consolidation, that's generally indicative of some kind of continuation. honestly. Like it looks like it could potentially go higher. And you look at the 4 hour and you got a big hanging man, so it's maybe it. I would guess that this is probably going to continue to range a little bit. What I would guess. The daily, I mean, it's a strong daily. After the daily close, I could see this pulling back a little bit, but I mean, it's just, you know, things just, it's a rocket ship. I mean, there's no really other way to put it. I mean, things just still going up. You know, we're just currently inside of this current range that we're in. It's on the high side of this range. So as risk reward as far as buying, it's not really a good risk reward, but good. Oh wait, what? Euro dollar what? Shorting? Yeah, took euro dollar earlier, got out of it. Actually not that far from where it is now. Yeah, it ended up going all the way to the low. Oops. Euro Aussie's coming back down a little bit. All right, I have to close Euro Aussie here in a minute and watch it. That's gonna go low. I'll just take the stop on it. No big deal. But yeah, this is interesting on Ethereum Euro. I mean, it's just bullish. I mean, it's hard to make a decision here. It's not a buy, but it's probably not a sell either. If that makes sense. It's a wait and see. Like if I was already in it, I would wait. If I was long, I would just have a stop. Looks like it's going to continue. Interesting. There's just, it's hard to make a decision on that. Price action wise, like it looks like it's going to continue. That's about it. But it's not a buy right now. You can, logically why. You know, it's just kind of in the middle between buyers and sellers. You got both. You got buyers and sellers in the same place, and it's just kind of right in the middle. There's no outsized risk reward either way, and you're not closer to one side than the other. You know, so it's hard to choose a direction on it. But man, this thing's high. It's crazy high. It's absolutely crazy. What's ETH dollar doing? Hold on a second. Man, I gotta take a sip of this water. Voice is wrecked. Yeah, if you're looking to buy it, I would probably wait. I wouldn't buy it there. To be honest, I mean, it depends. It depends on what time frame you're trading. You know, like if you're trading like a 1 minute chart or something, you might see something different. But if you're looking to buy it and hold it for more than a couple hours, I personally would wait. I would be watching, somewhere down here. Basically, the structure is the same on ETH dollar as it is on ETH euro. I'll be looking somewhere back in, into here. It's identical structure. If it were to come down a little bit and do something like that, then you could probably buy it and look for, some kind of higher low situation. But I would wait until it comes back down into here personally. I think you could probably get a better risk reward by wait until lower. Problem is that, man, there's so many stops along the way. I would watch this level for sure. I would watch this level. Whoops. Watch that. There's like multiple levels that are going to be an issue on the way back down. And then as far as that's concerned, I would think your main issue is going to be here. This is where the majority of your buyers stepped in. So on the way back down, if this were to pull back a little bit, these are the places that I would attempt to buy. That kind of thing. This price action wise. But yeah, I mean, the thing's just gone. I mean, it's bullish. It's at the high. It's the only thing I'm not sure about is what if, looking at this another way, what if it was a big range like this and this is just the high of it? You're in the top end of this range. You know, this is the bottom end. You know, what if it's just the high of the range? And this thing just, you know, kind of stops up here and then comes down and does that kind of thing. You know, and you're just in a big range up here. You know, that's also possible. You got to be aware of that. You know, that's why it's not a good idea to buy highs like that, especially when you got equal highs in a level that's where things have rejected in the past. You know, if you think about this way, look at how many times, you know, what if this is just another rejection and this comes down and does something like that? You know, it's that kind of thing is possible. It doesn't mean it can't, you know, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I wouldn't say it can't happen. You know, especially looking at it this way. You know, what if this is a big, because you've got equal highs up here that you've got multiple rejections at the same level. What if this is just a big high? And it's always about what if. You know, you always have to weigh your risk reward. You know, there's no certainty really unless you're hedging. There's certainty in hedging and arbitrage, but other than that, you know, which is more likely? You know, where's the better risk reward? Is it a favorable condition to buy it now after it's done? I mean, who knows what, you know, this crazy move, even in the current context of this range, is it a good idea to buy this now at the top of this range where it's you know, it's been an equal high multiple times up here? Even if it continues to break out and go higher, is it a good idea to buy it now? Probably not. You know, but you know, you always want to get the best deal that you can. If it would pull back, you know, you try it here. If it does, you know, if it pulls back lower, you try it here. What's that?
Oh, sorry, dude.
No, you're good. No, I was, you know, someone was asking on YouTube about Ethereum. We're just looking at everything. But yeah, you know, if it would pull back, I would definitely take it here for sure. Somewhere in this little area right here on the lower end of that. If it would give you that would be the place to take it. But yeah, it's one of those things where risk reward wise, could it go higher? Sure. Is it a good idea to buy the top? Probably not. It's one of those things. But yeah, it's interesting. An interesting chart. You know, Ethereum, where this is right now is nuts, man. It's high. You know, is it going to go higher? Probably. I think that's the question. It depends on how deep you're trying to get into it. You know, if you're trying to take a large buy here, just wait a couple days and wait till it goes lower. Give you a better deal. You know, again, you know, the car lot analogy or the housing market analogy. Is it a good idea to buy a house when it's, you know, the market is at a high? You know, you buying when housing prices are high just to buy it? Or, you know, could you just wait a few months and wait for, you know, housing market to come down a little bit and then get a better deal on a house? You know, it depends on the investment. You know, it depends on how deep you're going into it. Right? Leroy from here. It could Leroy from here, actually. Could Leroy the other way too, but it already did Leroy Jenkins. Holy cow, man, what a move. That is wild. That is wild.
Tell you, crypto's been lying, bro.
Oh yeah, we've been all over it. Yeah, we've been watching it. Yeah, we've been watching it. But yeah, you know, and that's the thing, you know, talking about buying Ethereum now. You know, looking at, hold on, let me put it on Zoom on the other side. Hold on. Taking a look at this. And the question is, you know, is it a good idea to buy it now? What if? It's just a what if scenario. This were a range and it just hasn't developed yet. What if you're just buying the top? You know what I mean? And it's a what if. And it doesn't mean anything. It's just what if, you know? What if this is just a range that hasn't fully developed? A big, wide range. It's gonna, you know, it could be longer than that. And you've got, you know, buyers on the bottom and sellers on the top. What if you're just buying the top of it? Is that a good idea to buy an equal high? Probably not. Is it going to go higher? Probably. But again, it's, you know, it's just, that's the conversation is about risk reward. Short term, it looks like it's going to continue bullish. It is bullish, you know, short term. And it just, again, it depends on when you're looking to get out. You know, as long as you got to stop in, you know, it doesn't, you know, If if your risk tolerance is okay with that, if your risk appetite's cool with it, and it's totally fine. Take a shot at it. It looks like it's short-term bullish. Honestly, Ethereum does. It's short-term bullish, but it's also at the high of a major range. And when you're at a range high, you got to be very careful about stuff like that.
You're gonna buy it, be aware of the fact you might take a 20% drawdown.
And that's the thing is, as long as you got to stop in, like if you took this now and you put a stop right here under this little consolidation, that's fine. But if it starts to run against you, you don't want to hold something like that because it's at the top of a range. If this did, drop down like that and then it starts to struggle to come back up, you probably don't want to be in that.
It's actually going to break out.
That kind of thing. Right, like it's bullish right now, short term. It is bullish short.
See where that consolidation happened above those highs? Like this last little dip after the flag. It's kind of a bull flag. I mean what crypto's been doing. It might push up and flag out of this.
And it could also be that too. It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it. And that's the thing. And it's about risk reward. Is it going to break the high? Probably. It looks, it's definitely bullish short term. I think the overall, how much higher is it going to go? And is it worth the risk to try to buy the high? You're buying the top of a range, and that's really, it's really a conversation about risk reward. It's not whether or not it's going to go up. It's more about, and it depends. And that again, depends on your strategy, how long you're looking to hold it. If you were just looking for that little push and to get out, then that's a different story than if you're looking to buy Ethereum to hold for a few days.
It's about to push more. Watch this. This is going to be crazy, dude. Ready?
We'll see.
It's going.
We'll watch it. And that's the thing. Is it gonna leave this range? Is it a range? We don't know yet. And that's the thing. We don't know yet what's going to happen. What I do see is I see the third equal high here. And we'll see what happens. It's just about risk reward. Ethereum, it's an interesting experiment, though. Interesting case study, for sure. To watch and see what happens here. It is definitely bullish, but it's also been bullish for a couple days, and we're back at an equal high here. So, is it going to continue?
This is when the people that pumped it are starting to cash out. So,
yes, and this is the thing. It's probably going to go. It is bullish short term. And that's the thing, is how much above this high is it going to go? I think that's the question. Is this a range? And it's uncertain, but I know that this looks like a range. It looks like it's going to break 12. It looks like it's the beginning of a range. So the question is, where's the high? Where's the high of it? And is it going to poke out and break the high and then come back in? How much above the high is it going to go? Yeah, and this is, it's not really an exact level. What you're looking for is structure. It's not really an exact line that you're looking. As far as this is, we're price discovery here. I don't know how far this is in the daily range. I don't have it set up right now on crypto, but
oh no, it's 80. It's past. It's past.
Zoom. All right, but yeah, and that's the thing, is if we're way above, sometimes it's just best to just leave it alone.
The bottom of this candle just started at
gotcha.
Full, the full.
Yeah,
and that's also right on the top of the range.
Yeah, so, it's definitely bullish short term. I think again the question is, how much above this last high is it going to go before it comes down? After
it's easily going to break 1200, maybe 1250, maybe, or it might reject the 1200.
Yeah. And again, that's the thing. We'll see how far is it going to go. Is this a range, or is it just a relentless crazy, is this just gonna do this, and ignore all of it, and that's the thing. Is it a range because of this previous high? How high is it going to go above this previous high? It's bullish right now. I don't know why crypto's so bullish now on the high. It just is, Bitcoin and everything's bullish. Bitcoin looks crazy bullish too.
The market cap is going there's more money pouring into crypto now, from what we were talking about earlier. If you look into it, you'll see there's a lot of investment firms that are and companies that are starting to actually buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, I see a lot of talk about it. It's just like the PayPal thing. The PayPal thing was a scam too. I mean, it turns out there's no spot traded on PayPal.
Yeah,
it's
PayPal's not even
all
even the biggest thing for.
Yeah, but there's no spot transaction that takes place.
Yeah.
So it's actually mathematically impossible for PayPal to affect the price of Bitcoin. All of that whole thing, all that whole hype that started this run was on a false pretense. That's the whole hype that started the Bitcoin run, was PayPal. And it turns out that there's no spot transaction in PayPal. We analyzed it one day. We went and read the documentation on it. There's no spot transaction. So it's, it's one of those things, like, that's the whole thing that started the whole hype, and it's not even, it's not what people think it is.
MicroStrategy are another big thing that people are talking about all the time.
GBTC. Yeah, I know that's a thing. People starting to put over investment capital into things like GBTC, like Grayscale. I know that's a thing. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Just
gonna be interesting.
Up 800% off the low.
Know what really started this run? And know what really started this run? That one day when Jerome Powell talked about cryptocurrency. That's what started it. It was like 13K. I remember I bought it. I bought it at like 13.7 or something like that back in November. And then you, just because you said he was talking about it, literally, if I would have held that to now, holy crap, I wouldn't even be trading right now. Like, I'd just been chilling.
Just waiting,
I'd go on vacation, bro, because that would be that would have been the trade of the decade. But it was like 13.7. You talked about it, and then I looked at it, and it was right at the midpoint. And you're like, yeah, Jerome Powell's going to talk about crypto today. I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Boom!
I need to reset the stream. Stream's been on. Might need to reset it.
What are we doing now? So here we go.
Oh.
Ethan, stop.
And I might have gone over again, maybe. Let me actually no, I think I'm close. Let me reset the stream here. I'm going to be right back. For the people on YouTube, it doesn't affect anybody on Zoom. People on YouTube, give me 1 second. I'm going to be right back on. I've got to reset the stream. The stream's going to go down for a second, but I'll be right back. So let me do that. Give me 1 second. 20 seconds. I'll be right back.